What's
been
up,
beaten.
Sheeple?
There you have it right
are
now,
live?
Amy. This is
Are we
with
live?
72%
We're
of
live.
the expected vote
Are we
in.
live?
We're looking at
Hello,
a
Sheeple.
55%
Welcome to
margin
our
for
presidential
Mark Kelly
night
over
coverage.
the incumbent
Very happy
Republican.
to
That's
have you
right.
all
We
here
are
with us.
Sally. She
here.
lost
We are
the
going
race.
to
She
be
she and Kirsten
providing
Sinema
you
were
with a
running
little
for
bit of
the
coverage
John
of the
McCain
2020
seat.
presidential
I'm sorry,
election.
I'm sorry,
which
Not much
Jeff
coverage.
And we're going to
John
cover the
McCain,
coverage.
Died.
We'll be covering coverage. That's good. That's a good point.
And then we might even cover ourselves covering other coverage.
Ooh, definitely.
We might.
So she's
We
not
might.
running for her first term, full term.
Stranger
I'm
things
feeling
have
frisky.
happened.
Has
Stranger
been,
things have happened.
faced a robust challenge from
So,
Mark Kelly.
What are
former
we looking at right
astronaut,
now?
married
Who's
to
got
Gabby
the
Gifford,
Justin? You got the
former
New York
congresswoman
Times
who, of
thing,
course, was
right?
terribly
The New York
injured in
Times
the
thing's
shooting,
up.
incident.
I
Congresswoman
just
from
fucked up
Arizona.
the stream, but that's okay.
Yeah,
So some states just got called in the past couple minutes. Washington, Oregon, California. No big surprises there.
The fact that Joe Biden and
Oregon
Mark
was red.
Kelly are both
No
getting
big
54
surprises.
votes.
Yeah.
Deep red
What
Oregon,
about,
where
what
Joe
about little
Biden.
surprises?
Significant.
Like-
Were there any, like,
Sign
little
for both
surprises?
of them. This is a county that President Trump,
Remains to be
candidates
seen.
carried
There are a
with
couple
2%.
promising leads.
It's also
Yeah, it has
where
not.
Kirsten Sinema
It
in
hasn't
that
really
race you
been
just
a
mentioned in
particularly
2018 Senate
surprising
race. Kirsten
night.
Sinema
Other
also won Maricopa,
in
but by
terms
a
of
significantly smaller
well,
margin.
okay.
So
It has in the
you know,
sense
this
that I
is
think a lot of people
Arizona
were
has
maybe
been
expecting
challenged
this
for
to
a
be a little
state like
quicker, and
Donald
maybe
Trump because
Biden
there's
was going to
not
have a
lot of
commanding
rural
lead,
vote. There's a
particularly
lot
in
of,
Pennsylvania, Michigan,
expanse. There's
Wisconsin,
a lot of geography
right?
in Arizona, but not a lot of
In that
people
sense, it might
who
be a
live
little
in the rural
surprising,
parts
you
of that
might
state.
say,
Most of that
in the
vote is
kind of
coming out
bad sense that
suburban
you don't
Phoenix
want,
or Pima County, as
right?
Stephanie pointed out, which is Tucson in southern Arizona.
Florida also, I believe, is leaning Trump.
Florida's going Trump, I think, without
Yeah,
51%.
We do have a call to make.
Trump
in the
did
presidential
horribly
race the
in
state
Miami-Dade
of
County,
Utah,
which Clinton won
where the
by like
polls
100,000 votes,
closed
and I think
at
like
10
Biden
o'clock.
won by
So
like
here we are a little over an
30,000.
hour later, and
40,000.
the
Yeah,
Associated Press is calling
but
Utah for
Biden
President
has
Trump.
not
That is
flipped,
clearly a
you know,
hold for the
Texas
Republicans. It is not a
or
surprise. President
Georgia.
Trump won Utah by almost 18
Although
points.
what I did see was that
There's
Arizona
still a chance for Georgia, I would say, more than Texas.
So Amy, that's,
still a
that
chance,
is
yeah.
not,
But
there's no surprise there. Over 2/3 of the vote.
I don't know.
Roughly 2/3 of the vote is in.
I'm not.
But
You
it-
know,
Well,
I'm
that
a
was
little
a state
nervous
in,
right
in
now.
2016, where the third
That's
party
how I'm
candidate
feeling.
who was from
But,
Utah was able
Yeah,
to pick
that
up
makes a
significant
lot of sense. But
percent of
let's
the
look at
electorate.
just the
Utah
states that have
was,
already been called.
went red,
Let's
but
do a
did
we'll just do a
not
roll
really,
roll call, just to
embrace
mark
Donald Trump
this time in
the way that
history.
many of the traditionally conservative states
Yeah,
did.
maybe never be
There's
here
now 6
again. But
electoral
we got
votes
Washington,
going on for
Washington,
Also
Oregon,
following the results of the
California,
vote tonight,
Colorado,
once
New
again, national
Mexico.
political reporters Aaron Haynes,
Biden
Illinois.
is
chief of the
up
19th, a new
significantly
nonprofit
in
digital
Arizona.
outlet focused on
That's
Republican
good.
politics,
Illinois has been
and
called.
Robert Costa of the Washington
Virginia has
Post,
been
and of
called.
course, hosts
Maryland, Delaware,
PBS's
New Jersey,
Washington
New
Week.
York,
So,
Connecticut,
Robert,
Rhode
you've
Island,
always got your ear to the ground. What are you hearing from the Trump
Massachusetts,
campaign
Vermont,
or
New
from
Hampshire.
anywhere?
So that's looking pretty good.
He's up in Minnesota.
Voting.
He is up in Minnesota pretty significantly.
About the numbers that are certain to
Okay.
come in.
And I
What
think
is
he's
Minnesota
really
historically?
expected.
Vote by mail.
Minnesota was a
Feeling on edge about a lot
Democratic
of these early
stronghold,
returns,
but then
but they also
it
believe that if you look at Wisconsin, Michigan,
switched to Trump
Pennsylvania,
pretty
that
much.
once the early vote is tabulated, you will see Vice President Biden pull ahead. That's
It's
my
like
reporting on
Democratic
Democratic
stronghold for a long
consensus
time until
behind the
Dems
scenes
abandoned
crunching
manufacturing in the
numbers and
Midwest.
looking at the data, and they know that
Right,
the
and
president
Minnesota,
had a good
Biden
turnout
is
today,
leading right
but
now.
that doesn't mean
You said?
everything from
Yep.
home.
That's
And,
good.
what are the
So
Republicans
so
saying
right now,
about
in terms
those
of if we
states?
wanted to
What
look
are
at
the Trump
states
people saying
where
about Michigan, Wisconsin,
you know
Pennsylvania?
that flipped
They
in
feel like they have a
2016,
path to a narrow
Arizona
majority
is on the
in
table,
Ohio,
right?
in
Because
Pennsylvania, in
wait,
Michigan,
was
and
Arizona a blue
Wisconsin,
state
that the white voter
before
in the suburbs
2016?
I
there
think that
has turned
Arizona
out in
has been a
big
red
numbers on
state
election
for a
day.
while.
And
But I
Oh,
think
that's right.
So it's
Okay.
flipping this year.
some of the vote by
Okay, so
mail that
flipping
comes
this
in.
year, even better.
Really,
Okay,
really
that's
believe
good.
so.
Aaron Haynes.
Minnesota,
They may have voted for Obama, but I'm not sure.
We are
Minnesota
watching
flipping would be
closely
good.
what happens,
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania,
Promising.
Definitely.
Keystone State, but we also
Iowa.
know
Yeah.
it's going to take
Yeah.
a while for
What
those
is
I
Iowa
think
historically?
did Trump win? No, Trump didn't win Minnesota, did he?
the
Oh,
Trump
I don't
Now?
know.
taking heart
Or last year.
white voters in the
Last
in
in
the
Or
2016.
not last year, but last.
Joe Biden was
Yeah.
seen
Yeah.
to be doing
I think
well
last
with
election, I think
suburban voters,
Dems
especially with
held
suburban
Minnesota.
women, something that Republicans.
But Trump won Wisconsin,
has
Michigan,
been
and
enormous
Pennsylvania famously,
frustration for
which
them.
it's hard to
Right.
come back from
If
that.
it comes down to partly a question
Yes.
of race,
Coincidentally, I would say
that
those are all Joe
JB,
Biden's
let me just
clearest
go back
path
to
to
the
victory
suburban
here.
women for a minute, because I'm thinking about that last
That's
debate
always
between,
been the
President
case.
Trump and Vice President Biden,
Or
which
that was always
obviously
as
supposed
it
to be the
stands-
case.
Civil had a chance to hear some of the more
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
substantive
It's true.
policy differences. And what I heard from women, especially
Yeah.
women in states like Pennsylvania, was that they are also energy voters.
Gotta win
right? I mean, the
Pennsylvania,
conversation around
and
fracking and around
I mean,
jobs
I don't know.
and energy. Was
If he
something
doesn't
that
win
resonated with
Pennsylvania,
them, either because they
then
themselves
he has to
worked in
win
that
Florida
industry,
or
because their
something. I
husbands
mean,
did,
like,
or their
right?
fathers did, or somebody
Pennsylvania's
else,
like 20 votes.
in their family
He's not
did.
winning
And so
Florida.
Yeah,
really
so,
that came down to,
So
you know,
if
just
he
a
loses
livelihood
Pennsylvania, but
for
he
them.
wins
And the
Ohio
difference
somehow,
between,
it doesn't
the
look
president
likely
and Joe
anymore.
Biden on
But
that,
Right.
debate,
Ohio is
if that were to
now.
happen,
and
he'd
how those suburban
and
women weigh in, even if they don't necessarily like the president's
if he won
tone,
North
the way that he's
Carolina,
handling,
he'd probably be fine
the
because he won New
pandemic,
Hampshire and he's probably going to win
Pennsylvania and
Arizona. So
Philadelphia
North
County,
Carolina would also
they
do
said
it.
that they
Georgia
are
would
not
also
gonna count
definitely do
anymore
it.
of the mail-in ballots tonight, something like 76.
But just
But
flipping,
that's
like,
assuming he wins Wisconsin and Michigan, which I
yeah,
think is pretty fair.
and that's the
ballots
thing.
that-
But
that,
flipping those two is not going to be enough, which I think he might. I think he's. I know that the Trump people are worried about Michigan right now. And
you know, Pennsylvania still
I could see
outstanding,
Biden
Michigan,
winning in Wisconsin,
it's
but
gonna
those
be a
two
long
won't be
night that
enough.
Is, you know, potentially going to be stretching into tomorrow, and who
So-
knows after that.
it certainly does look that way.
Yeah,
stretching,
it's true.
Stretching into
It's-
tomorrow.
I mean-
That's exactly what we were told could happen, and we are
Yeah.
practicing our patience.
He really
Bob
does
Costa, I wanna come to you
either
on
need
this
to win
fracking
Texas, which
question,
isn't going to
because
happen.
did become an
If he
issue
won
after
North
Pennsylvania,
Carolina and
Joe
Georgia,
Biden,
and then
sounded a negative
one of
tone, a
Michigan,
negative
Wisconsin,
note
and Pennsylvania, that
on
would be
it.
kind of a
And
neat
you're hearing
trick. That
different
might
things,
actually
though,
do it.
about just
But
how much
I
the workforce
don't know
in
if he. Yeah, I
Pennsylvania
guess he
and some
could
of
do
these other
that.
states depends
So
on
this
fracking,
this is Revolution
because of the
Podcast is in the
changing
chat right now
nature
saying that they think Biden is going to
of
win
the-
this
of the
one.
energy economy.
I hope you
That's
are
pretty
right.
cool.
I hope you're right.
To the lieutenant governor.
What do you
John
What do you
Biden,
think? What do you think's going to be
with
the state that does it? You think he's going to
Pennsylvania,
get Pennsylvania as
mayor.
well, Michigan and
He has a
Wisconsin?
personality that really identifies with working people. And
Yeah,
I
I'm
asked him
interested to
about
hear.
fracking and Vice President Biden, and he believes that Vice President Biden is still
Sorry to
going
put you on
make
the spot.
gains and a
Yeah,
connection
sorry.
with those voters
Of
in
podcast.
Western Pennsylvania and Northeastern Pennsylvania because of his record in the Senate, his economic populism, his position on trade that counters President Trump, and he's not easily cast as some kind of enabler of a Green New
Yeah, it's
Deal.
looking
The
pretty
whole
interesting.
composite of Biden
Surprisingly,
politically will be enough to carry
Biden's
him
up in Iowa.
Pennsylvania, and not just the way President Trump
Is-
uses
That is
I was really
surprising.
expecting
Interesting, because
Trump.
that is the message that the president has been pounding away at.
How many?
Joe
What's the
Biden would,
percentage reporting?
destroy the
Uh,
oil and
50%,
the industry, anything that has to do with fracking, of course, injecting fear into those who
No fucking
think
clue what you
about
just said.
fracking and
Yeah, you
other
just cut
aspects
out,
of the
bro.
oil industry as being the backbone of the
Definitely.
economy in a number of American
Yeah, I'm there
number
with
of
you.
states,
Let's. I'm gonna
Pennsylvania,
turn off my
Texas,
like
and a number
YouTube
of
stream
others.
of this
All
because
right,
I think
we're
it's
gonna
just
leave
eating
it
up
there
too
for
much
the two of
bandwidth
you,
all at
but
once.
come back to you
Okay.
soon as this
Yeah,
evening
he's
I can
at
come back
50,
to it.
50% in
another
Iowa.
step back now to see what all this
Yeah.
means with President
Can you hear?
historian
How,
and NewsHour
how's
regular
my like
Michael Beschloss,
connection
great.
coming in now?
to NewsHour
Good.
Weekend,
Good?
Jeff
Cool.
Greenfield,
Very chill.
someone I
Um,
worked with many years ago.
Yeah,
and
it's looking pretty good in Iowa.
Again, Jeff
He's
Greenfield,
at
I'm gonna come to you
51% of the
first,
vote
Jeff.
and with
That's good.
59%
From where you
reporting.
sit, I know you are based in California, looking
Some
at this
potential to
election,
get 6
across
electoral votes.
the country. What does it look like to you at this hour? We are
What if
still
that's the
waiting
only
for
state
some
that he?
really
What if that's
important,
like the only state that is like a
results.
surprise?
Flips.
It looks like
He gets
God
Iowa
damn,
and Wyoming.
of the Democrats.
That would be.
No, I know
amazing.
Wyoming's already been called. I just
Yeah,
know
come
Wyoming.
on.
It's got to be filed.
Don't play with my heart.
Without calling states, clearly Trump is overperforming.
But
Um,
where the the Democrats thought they had a
Look,
real chance.
I've been thinking about this the past few days, how they've been kind of, I feel like some people in the establishment have been kind of fawning over the idea of like, wow, he's gonna win Texas, a Republican stronghold,
Oh
and
my
he's gonna,
God.
you know, and then kind of same thing with Georgia too, which you know, I'm sorry, but no, it's just that wasn't ever I don't think he's gonna win Georgia. I don't think he's gonna, and he's absolutely not gonna win Texas. And so that was the strategy, obviously, was to try to get a bunch of never Trump people to show up, and that's, you know, that's one way to try to do things, I guess, but it's not good. I hope he's still able to win, because I hope he's able to win. He's also able to flip back those states that they lost, that the Democrats lost 4 years ago, particularly Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. You know,
Totally.
and
I
I'm
mean,
also.
so I think that.
Go ahead.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Well, I was gonna say I also am worried about this thing where they're gonna count, you know, the mail-in ballots getting counted after the election, because you know, historically Republicans have a track record of figuring out ways to win elections.
cuck the system.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Even when they lose, they still win. You know. But that's why I'm a little
No, I
worried.
mean,
but.
It's really true. I think that there are a lot of really good reasons to be worried. One of which was like Democrats' inflated expectations. Like the fact that they ever thought that they were going to win Texas, I think, is just like the height of hubris. Like, that is,
Agreed.
come on, like,
Yeah.
the fuck were you thinking? Like, honestly, I'm surprised that he's like in contention in North Carolina.
People were fine with that.
I
Right.
I would love to see Biden win North Carolina. I am still saying that Trump is probably going to win North Carolina, although I would love to be surprised there.
15, yeah.
But I don't know.
15
Florida,
15.
he was never going to fucking win Florida. Like,
I
especially
see,
with
I
all
don't know.
the voter disenfranchisement that's been going on.
I was kind of looking at Florida, because Biden's been up kind of steadily, but just by like 2 points, but consistently, which, and Obama's been campaigning there, which, you know, that probably helped no matter what. But
Yeah.
but yeah, it might not
People
be
like
enough.
Obama.
And
A
then,
lot of
like
people
I've
like
said
Obama.
before, the fact that, you know, Trump, you know, asks seniors to take one for the team on the virus thing.
Totally. They don't care though.
Yeah.
Should have helped Biden in Florida, but
Yeah, it should have. But
should have.
Went on for months.
you know, it's like you can't ever underestimate Joe Biden's ability to just like not seal the deal.
No. Yeah, you can't.
Classic Sleepy Joe.
Yeah, Sleepy Joe is a great nickname for him. He's like
It's really fucking hilarious.
It's like really-
honestly.
It's good. That's one other reason why we absolutely should have had Bernie Sanders as the Dem presidential nominee, was that Trump's nickname for him sucked. Like, it was
What
like,
was it?
Like Crazy Bernie.
Oh yeah. That's
You know, that just
That doesn't really
has
roll
no
off the
pizzazz.
tongue.
He never liked it. Like he said that there was like a New York Times report at one point that he was like not satisfied with any of the nicknames he'd came up with for Bernie yet. He was still working on it.
Crazy socialist Bernie.
So for right now, guys, Cloud is saying he needs to reset the title. So he's gonna have to reset the stream for a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, I guess
See
the
you soon,
title
friends.
is still presidential debate. It'll be like
Are we
2
off
seconds.
stream right now?
Stick with us, everybody. We gotta just change the title so it doesn't say presidential debate anymore.
So are we off stream?
It'll just be for a second, so don't even worry about it.
So someone was watching on Twitch. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we got some
got a hit
people are
from
hanging
This
out.
Is Revolution pod.
Yeah,
What
they
pod is
didn't.
that?
They didn't answer. They were supposed to tell us what state they think Biden is gonna win. That's gonna seal the.
Oh, we have 5 viewers.
Mhm.
That's pretty dope.
Because I think it poses a legitimate source
I
of
should
concern.
that's kind of lit. That's like kind of all from either our Twitch following or our Twitter following.
Yeah, if you're here from Twitter, then hello. I'm glad. Cool. Yeah, if you anybody who's here from Twitter, we are happy to see you. That's awesome.
Really cool.
For sure. Hit us up in the chat.
Definitely.
let's
Yeah.
talk.
Let's definitely
Yeah.
chat. If
Let's work
anybody
it out.
has, let's I mean, one thing, just let's get predictions. Where are people at? Who do we think is gonna win tonight?
Keep bringing context to this election tonight.
That's a good question for the chat. You can say you can give your answer as well, Justin, if you want to.
On 11:30 here on the East
Wow,
Coast, it's a good chance
TJ
to check
does
in
look
and see
good.
where we are.
Oh, yeah,
Of course,
okay.
you see a number of candidates still very
Yeah, would love to
active.
hear
We'll dig into a couple
from
of
chat
examples
about
right
predictions
now.
for
And so you
tonight,
heard Katie
where we
Walsh say
think the
earlier that
big
the rural vote is where they
big
hope to
upsets
make
might
up
be
for
still, like big
Republicans, hope to make
surprises
up
coming up.
some of those diminishing returns.
What state has the most electoral votes? Is it California? Yeah, that's
California,
that's what.
yeah.
California,
Yeah.
Texas, then Florida, then New York. I guess New York is tied with
53% for President Trump, 45% for Joe
New
Biden.
another
York.
state. I'm not sure.
God, it really does
New
suck that none of
York.
those three northern states have been called.
Are you talking about
No, those
like Wisconsin and
And Michigan and
Michigan?
Pennsylvania. Yeah, those are like the ones that, I mean, come on, give it to me.
it's what the entire thing is going to hinge on, without a
Yeah,
doubt.
pretty much. I mean, because he's not winning Florida or
No,
Texas.
not winning Florida.
What do you think? Is Sleepy Joe going down, Tyler? Have you changed your tune?
I'm worried. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure. I'm particularly, like I said, I'm worried that the Republicans are gonna absolutely rat fuck the process on mail-in voting, on all those ballots that are coming in after the election. Because I know, Trump has been talking about how we got to know the results on election day.
Republicans have been known to rat fuck situations.
Yeah, that's
True.
true.
And like in particular, this is pretty much the exact same strategy they deployed during the Florida recounts in 2000, where they demanded they stop counting ballots, and then the Supreme Court just handed it to Bush.
Right, because didn't the Supreme Court say they had a right to know early or something like that?
I think it was just like there was a riot that was partly like organized by Roger Stone, and like they stopped it, and I think they were just like, yeah, no, the counting is stopped. The counting has officially stopped, so we must make a decision. Like you cannot restart it.
In 2016 by 4 points. Look at that margin with 100%
Like,
What are we
it's
looking
just
at here?
reporting
Okay.
in 20.
Complete horseshit. Like I'm really hoping that it doesn't come to that, but I really think that that's what we should all be preparing for, honestly, because like in Pennsylvania, I saw today that I think it was 1 million voters voted by mail. Dems voted by mail, and about 500,000 registered Republicans voted by mail.
So they're gonna want to get those
So-
thrown out.
Yeah, exactly. Like if they can throw them out, like and steal the election in Pennsylvania, they might do that. That's certainly a possibility.
Yeah, a fucking, I mean, what? It's not that hard to imagine next week, or later this week, Kavanaugh. He, with the majority opinion, he's
Big Cav.
hey guys, it actually turns out there's totally precedent to just throw out all the mail-in ballots.
Yeah.
That's
like
some shit that he said earlier this week, or like last week, where he was
Probably.
like, oh, I don't know, like
It's-
or no, it was a video from a while ago about the 2000 election at the time, where he was
Yeah.
like, yeah, this makes sense. And then recently he's like, oh, there's precedent.
Send him to the gulag.
Totally within the realm of possibilities.
We should make a gulag list.
We are watching
A parody.
Well, it might be funny to have a shirt that's like Sheeple's army on the front, and then send it to the gulag, and then just like a list of people on the back, and then you can pay Patreon to get your name added to the list.
Wow.
On the shirt.
Of history's greatest villains.
Yeah, exactly. Hitler, Gandhi, John
Okay.
Lennon.
I do have an unfortunate update.
What is it?
In terms of the South Carolina Senate race, I mean, because there's a lot of down ballot stuff going on, obviously. Lindsey Graham has won against Jamie Harrison, who it sucks, yeah, because it would have been cool to see Lindsey go. To be honest, that would have been
So that will go definitely to
that would have been one of my favorite things to see actually tonight. Maybe with the exception of Mitch McConnell being out, even though it was like Amy McGrath, apparently the most expensive race like in history, right, Justin? Is that what you said?
Yep. Most expensive Senate race in history.
A lot of money.
It's just like really insane. It was.
Am I right about that? I just checking.
I'll amend that slightly. I know that the primary was the most expensive Dem primary Senate.
Defeating Adrian Perkins.
Dem Senate primary race in history. I'm assuming it was for the general dude, just based off of like fucking everything about it. And what, they got 40% of the vote? Like, are you fucking kidding me? This is what you did that voter suppression for?
Around the pandemic.
Right.
Fucking Amy McGrath to lose by 20 points.
And she was running against it was a more progressive challenger. Who was it? Charles Booker. Yeah. Obviously the establishment went with McGrath because they like to go with those right-wing candidates. McGrath famously, I mean, she was like a fan of Trump basically, right? Or she said that Mitch McConnell doesn't work with Trump enough or something like that.
Yeah, she was trying to say that Mitch McConnell impedes Trump's agenda.
Yeah,
It's just insane.
The Democrats
also said she would have voted for Kavanaugh.
And Mike Espy
well, there you go.
The
The Democrats will never win that Senate seat.
Times as much money
I'm predicting it now. I'm calling it now.
I mean, fucking they could, but they just don't want to win it the way that they need to win it.
Exactly.
They don't want to rat fuck it as they should.
Yeah. Dems, when
Cindy Hyde-Smith.
Never mind.
When the chips are
all you
down.
have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
All right now at 11:30 at night in the East.
They got money, and that's it.
Democrats now have a count of 44 in the Senate to the Republicans 45. You're seeing some of those states filled in.
I'm saying that Arizona is going to be Biden. I feel comfortable.
You think so?
Really?
Oh yeah. I think so. He's pretty up.
It's reporting at 75% right now, and he's up by 8.5 points. Like that's a pretty big lead.
Pick up for Republicans in Alabama. And so
No results from
Trump
Nevada.
takes the lead in Iowa.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Nothing from Nevada yet.
Groups of analysts we're going to hear.
Nothing from Alaska.
New York Times
Fucking dying to know.
Who's Puerto Rico voting for this?
As well as Washington
this
Post
term?
columnist
Absolutely Biden.
It's gotta be Biden.
Yeah.
Johnson, along with Amy
Yeah,
Walter
okay,
here
yeah,
at
I'm
the
looking at
table.
Minnesota
So,
too,
Mark,
you
the
guys.
picture
That's
is not it's a little
Minnesota.
bit clearer. We're still waiting
yeah.
for some important states.
Apparently Clinton just won New Hampshire by a few thousand votes, but Biden won there. Already it's been called, and he's got 30,000.
Where?
Up on Trump.
New
New
Hampshire.
Hampshire.
That does not surprise me.
A single election night.
That's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Returns, we just don't know
Wow.
where they're from. In a
Guys,
given state. And that's exactly
don't
what's
look at
going on now. I mean,
Pennsylvania.
each state, much to its.
Oh my fucking god, dude!
So many votes.
Okay, just actually don't look at the any of the northern states.
Okay, so here. Okay, no, okay.
We
Here's what I'm gonna say, is that I'm saying Pennsylvania actually doesn't look too bad because the area immediately around Philadelphia is like barely reported. 12% Bucks County, 29%.
But all that area is like fucking like definitely. I feel like Republican voters.
Yeah. No. All around Philadelphia, it's like six. It's just like Delaware County, 16%. Philadelphia, like Philadelphia, more than like anywhere else in Pennsylvania, is going to be like the liberal East Coast, standard blue Dem shit. And like Pittsburgh is also a stronghold, because it's a city. But like,
I thought you meant like properly like outside of the like. Like the greater Pennsylvania.
I've spent not an insignificant amount of time in rural central Pennsylvania.
I was just out there this year.
That's the
Were you really?
celebration of freedom.
Yeah, I was.
And I think that will be tested.
What
Fucking
for?
liar. He's lying.
No, I was. Well, I went
Lying.
to New York. We had tickets that we bought before Corona. Sorry to the watchers. I traveled during quarantine to go meet my partner's family. And we were in New York, and then we were seeing her, my partner's grandmother in Pennsylvania, and she lives like an hour or two outside of Philly.
Yeah.
Straight up in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool though. It's like there's like hella Mennonites and like yeah, it's really beautiful. Very flat.
Right?
Yeah, hella Amish, very flat. Got some Amish ice cream. That was pretty cool.
That's pretty dope. The Amish soft pretzels are really good.
Yeah.
One time,
Furniture.
my mom-
Shout out Amish. Friends
Shout out
of the
furniture.
pod.
Yeah, one time my mom tricked me into going to visit an Amish furniture warehouse with her to like look at shit.
Dude, it's pretty cool though.
It was pretty dope, and they had pretzels there and like lemonade and stuff.
Did you ever? There was that TLC show. This is all relevant to.
All relevant to the election coverage.
There was that TLC show that was it was like Vanilla Ice goes Amish. And it was like because like Vanilla Ice is like a construction worker now, and he had his own TLC show, and he decided to like go Amish, where he was like building houses with the Amish, like just by hand, like no power tools.
It's fucking hilarious.
Pretty cool. There was also that. Yeah, he's like
this is a current show or a former show?
No, this was like when we were probably in like 13.
All right, I'll be right back while you guys figure that out.
Yeah, it's important. There's also like that Amish Mafia show. Did you ever watch that?
I think I watched a couple episodes. Wasn't that on like Discovery Channel or something?
Yeah, and that was like when it was like it was either it was when Discovery went all like Ice Road Trucker and like which is like pretty sick.
Deadliest Catch.
Dude, Deadliest Catch, pretty sick show.
It's actually pretty lit. Yeah.
Especially since like I was gonna say like growing up in Seattle, there's like some of the ships would like dock.
Yeah, totally. Dude, Seattle actually is just like super important to the like national and the global like fishing industry.
Oh, totally.
Seafood industries.
Yeah, Port of Seattle. I mean, it's like the closest port to Japan too, and like Asia.
It is, yeah, for sure, by far, I think. So I worked at a city council campaign in North Seattle that actually was the area that has the docks, the Ballard docks, or Ballard locks, or whatever the hell they call them. And apparently it's like I think it's like half of all salmon consumed in the U.S. goes through those locks right there.
The Ballard locks.
Yeah,
that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, dude, Ballard locks are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever like been there and like gone like underneath them? It's kind of interesting.
I haven't. I mean, it sounds interesting. They're just like a lot of places like that in Seattle. I would
totally.
Praying that this would be a landslide night.
And it's like no surprise Washington went overwhelmingly for Biden. He gets 12 electoral votes there, and Oregon as well went overwhelming for Biden.
Only 7 in Oregon.
Yeah, which makes sense. There's fewer people, I think. Right?
Yeah, I don't know what the population differences between Oregon and Washington. I wouldn't assume that it's that big.
No, I think that if it weren't for Seattle, I think Seattle is just significantly bigger than Portland.
Yeah, that is very true.
I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Of the aisle, and we're seeing it play out.
Well, Seattle and Tacoma, because they're like both like huge. What's he say?
I should move back.
How are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, consider it. I guess I like Portland a lot, but you know, it's all right here.
Oh, Tyler's back. Get serious.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, guys. Quit slacking.
Busy. Yeah, so we're looking at Texas. Texas has got 86% reporting. Like Trump is up 5.5 points. Probably not coming back from that. Could happen, I guess.
It's like Austin is like blue. Fort Worth is like kind of blue. And like that's like pretty much it. Houston's like kind of blue, and that's like it.
Exactly. There's some cities that are blue. There's some areas along the border in South Texas, I think, that are blue.
Yeah, like
Corpus
Texas
Christi
area.
Yeah. Like Texas is is quite a red state. And it's good that like it was competitive. I think there were some districts that Beto O'Rourke flipped that Biden also won, which I think is significant. But I don't see a win in Texas.
It looks like if we look at Arizona, where John McCain's Senate seat is up for grabs, Mark Kelly is pretty well positioned to win right now. Not for sure yet, but it's leaning that way, which is good.
Is he the Republican or the Democrat?
No, sorry, Mark Kelly is the Democrat.
I don't know much about him.
Which is cool. Well, I mean, I don't know too much about him either, but he will take that seat right away because it's to fill John McCain's seat, who famously died.
That's crazy. I feel like he died so long ago.
Who famously died.
I'm listening to this, the description Eliana just gave us about.
Do y'all know that in Hanoi, like a famous tourist attraction is the prison that John McCain was tortured at?
Is there like a statue of him like in the prison? That's kind of bad.
They have some. I think they might have some pictures of him though. But they don't have
pictures of him when he was a fucking prisoner.
I believe so, yeah.
God. I know where I'm going next year.
I personally prefer people who weren't captured.
So especially when you think about Pennsylvania.
Oh, Tyler, you gotta get us canceled, bro.
When did he
what's
die?
crazy?
When did he die?
What's crazy, and I think there's kind of like a funny trick of imperialism too, is that the place where John McCain was tortured in Hanoi was originally a French colonial prison where they tortured Vietnamese people.
Wait, he died in 2018?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like how is it taking this long for his fucking seat to be filled?
What's the normal protocol for that?
I know it is pretty crazy that it took that long. But it's like I'm pretty sure it would be a special election, right? I'm pretty sure that's how it usually works.
Yeah.
To do it,
but
quickly.
Yeah, special election, but it's just weird that it wouldn't have been like one last year, you know?
Right. Yeah. No, that is weird. But having another Democrat in the Senate would be good. I mean, if Dems could win the Senate tonight, that would be really good news.
That'd be huge.
That would be huge.
You know, I would say that is. It would be extremely based. Like, arguably more influential for our domestic policy would be Dems winning the Senate but losing the presidency, like, which I don't want at all. But like that would arguably
Eliana, Amy,
be a better outcome than
please don't go far away.
It depends.
Yeah, it's possible. It would be important. That's for sure.
That there have been many eyes on this election, a lot of effort to shield this election from foreign interference.
What are we looking at? Any updates right now?
So, processes in place to ensure that this election is safe.
What did you say, Tyler?
Oh, I'm just looking for updates.
Tonight, Nina Jankowicz joins us now. She studies disinformation campaigns.
I want to talk about some counties in Georgia, if that's cool, real quick.
Yeah.
So
also joining us, Nate Pursley. He's an
so we're looking at in Georgia right now. We got 70% reporting. Trump is winning with 54% of the vote. Biden's 44.8% of the vote. I think important thing to do, we can look at some of the counties surrounding Atlanta, which is a Democratic stronghold in the state. It's also the biggest city. It's fucking huge. There are like highways with like 16-lane highways if you
Atlanta's
like
cool.
Both directions of traffic.
I was there once.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There was not a knockout punch.
It's a
that was
really wild place.
Saw a guy with a horse in his backyard.
This does.
What's that?
I saw a guy with a horse in his backyard when I was in Atlanta.
Study disinformation and thinking about what these next
Yeah,
few
totally.
days look like.
You probably like it a lot better in Oregon. You know, like there's a lot of pavement in Atlanta, I think. But if we look at Fulton County, where Atlanta is in, about half is reported, and Biden is up by 130,000 votes. So that right there closes like half of the gap between like Trump and Biden. Like if we can expect another one of those, pretty much, or maybe even a more decisive lead for Biden, that's going to put him in a really good spot. But then also, if we look at the counties around it, he's got 83% of the vote right now in DeKalb County. He's got 85% of the vote right now in Clayton County.
the end of voting, and when we're able
And
to
DeKalb
know
is
the
one
winner,
that
seems
Hillary
to
Clinton
me,
won by
the more
200,000
opportunities there
votes,
are for
Uh-huh.
79% of the vote.
Absolutely, Judy. That's a
Barack
huge
Obama in
vulnerability
2008
in the
won
way that
by
this election is going to play out
190,000
this
with
year.
79,000, and
frankly,
then
we're
Clayton,
already seeing some
they both
fringe
won with
political websites
66,000
as well as a
votes.
few
So
foreign
that
or
right there, it would
propaganda
almost
websites
be
starting
enough
to
to
pick up
even
on
out
this
this
vulnerability, projecting winners too
this
early,
like
not using
difference
the
we're
same
seeing right
sorts
now.
of,
So I would say there's a lot to
you
be
know,
hopeful for
editorial
so
Okay.
far in
truth
Georgia,
that, for
but we'll
instance, the
have to see
NewsHour
how
or
it plays
AP
out.
do.
Right.
And that's
Yeah, we got
frustrating because it
75%
presents
reporting
one
in
picture
Georgia,
and then
so
allows another side to claim that
we might know
perhaps the
tonight,
results are
right?
rigged, which is a
Georgia.
narrative that we've seen
Yeah,
coming
I
up
mean,
over and over.
disproportionately
You know, we haven't
represented
seen
right
the level of
now
partisan
are
interference that
probably
we saw in
predominant or like
2016.
more
We've even
white
seen
areas of
election
Georgia,
security
or
officials
areas
say
where
that
like
this is less
more
than
of the
even in
voters are white at
2018
least.
during the midterms.
Yeah,
Now,
it's
I
good.
would caution, not only do we have those
Because
vulnerabilities coming up, but at
hopeful.
this point in 2016,
Hopeful,
we
yeah.
didn't really know the depth and breadth of foreign interference. And
Nevada
we
just
are
started
so much more
reporting
polarized.
finally.
We have so much more domestic disinformation this
Oh yeah.
year.
Not much to
How we
report
look
there.
at
It's only
being
1%
amplified by
reporting,
foreign
and Trump
actors
is
as well.
leading, but that's
no question about it. And you're right. The
77%.
It's only 1% reporting.
I know.
It's fine.
Given the fact, as we're now discussing, this could drag on for several more days.
Let's see,
at least
Maine. What
hours,
is
at least
what's the
into
deal with
tomorrow,
Maine?
and
So in
probably,
2016,
possibly
oh,
into
it split.
Thursday. I'm
Did it
very
split its
reluctant to
electoral
make any
votes? Is that what
forecast
happened?
here. What is it that you're going to be keeping?
Maine's got kind of a weird system. I think if one candidate wins by like more than 15%, then they get all of the votes, and if they don't win by 15%, then some of the votes go to their child.
Yeah, in 2016, they split their votes in 2016. Maine
did?
Maine did, yeah. And did Nebraska didn't. Nebraska is the other state that does that, though.
There are state laws that deal with absentee ballots. We've had quite a bit of litigation before this election, which is actually helpful because it helps clarify some of those rules.
Yeah, Nebraska splits their electoral votes as well.
Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and so there's a legal framework that needs to be followed. And in the coming days,
Gotta say, yeah, if people have kind of been saying Bernie, I know you guys kind of brought that up. If Bernie were the candidate, I can feel like I could confidently say that Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin would all be leaning blue.
But what
Yeah.
signals could be sent from Washington,
for sure.
should be sent from Washington to say to
But
foreign
you know,
actors
you live and you
stay
learn,
away
right?
while we-
Except for in
while
this
we,
case,
C'est la vie.
figure out who
You
the
don't.
winner of this
As they
election
say.
is.
Well,
Yeah.
we've already seen election security officials giving hints.
One thing that I think is important to note here is that Biden pretty much has made the same mistake as Hillary Clinton. It seems like I still think that Biden's going to win this, but he didn't have to win big. Right? He didn't have to be campaigning in Texas. He didn't have to be campaigning in fucking, Florida or South Carolina.
Florida.
Georgia.
He could have,
in the coming days.
or where?
Georgia.
Yeah, or even Georgia, right? He might win Georgia. That'd be cool. But
He should have stuck to his bread and butter.
yeah, if he had just like really focused on Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, that would have been plenty. Right?
Yeah.
He would have won. Right?
And,
Why do we have to win by fucking 100 votes?
Right, and you know, yeah, like we've talked about, they didn't really want to win with those Obama coalition voters. That's not really what they wanted. They wanted it to be the Never Trump Republicans and the people at the Lincoln Project who would give them the win, right? Because then that's who they would be, that's who they would be beholden to once they got in, not working people who had their manufacturing jobs go away, right?
Unwelcome interference. Right now, I want to go back to Amna Nawaz.
What are predictions with how wild it's going to get if Trump wins?
There are a lot of races we're not able to call yet.
If Trump wins,
information, and I think
yeah, it's
I guess especially for us in Portland,
we're not
Seattle
rushing
too.
to do that. The AP, who we depend on, is not rushing to do that. But to remind everybody,
it could get pretty. I mean, a lot of places are boarded up, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that.
A couple of states where I know we've been waiting on results, Judy, and this is the point of the night at which we could
Yep.
rewind to
I saw a lot of people posting photos of their guns.
what we know now. We thought
Did you?
Florida and Arizona could
on
give
both
us some
sides.
early
My
indication of where the night would go,
conservative
given a long history
relatives
of
and
early voting
family
and
members
counting that
are
fast. The fact that we don't have results from either yet is an indication of just how
going
tight
all
those
out
races are.
on
So the
on
AP is being
Facebook right
very
now.
transparent.
That's for
They
sure.
say in
I'm sure.
Florida,
Do we?
specifically
Yeah.
what they're waiting for is
My,
more
Man, if I
recent
still had my
polls
Facebook, I would
in
absolutely
South
be.
Florida.
I
That's
would
the area
live
Miami-Dade
read some
County,
of those,
course,
but
the largest county in the state. You've got a number
I
of guests
don't
weighing
have
in
my
on what we're
Facebook.
seeing there
I
so
think
far.
Justin's having some
Don't yet
technical
have enough
difficulties. I cannot hear
information there
Justin right now
for
or
the
see
AP
him.
to
I don't
make
see
a call.
Justin.
So we'll wait
So I don't
on
know
that,
what's going
and
on.
when
Oh,
we
there he
have
is.
that,
This is how
we'll
Justin
report that
famously
out.
died.
But of course,
Back.
29
Justin
electoral
died.
votes in state favor Florida, and maybe not likely to
Let's
come
go to
through
Twitter. Let's see. Let's see what
Is
Twitter
that
says.
how you
Arizona
die?
as well. AP's being
That's how
very
he dies.
transparent and saying
That's how I'm gonna
waiting
die
on
for
right
That's how
now,
sure.
Houdini
don't have
died.
enough
Dude,
information, is the same day.
Or
If
go ahead.
I remember Arizona saw the
if you
same
see me dead
surge in
any other
early
way,
voting. A lot of other
you
states
know it's
saw
not
young
true.
voters in
But
particular turning out. They voted in larger
fucking,
numbers early in
can y'all
Arizona
hear
than
me
they
okay?
did in
Because
all
like
of
y'all are sounding
2016,
super
but the
choppy on
same
my
day
end.
vote is
I
what
can
they
hear
need
you
to
just
see.
Is
fine.
my
Making
audio
a
and stuff
call
coming through?
right now.
It
Judy,
is.
we cannot stress
Cool.
enough. This
Okay.
doesn't mean
Totally fine. I
anything
just wanted to make
wrong.
sure that
This
it
is
was
just
sounding
the
okay.
process unfolding the way it's supposed
I'm
to.
looking at
And
Twitter to see
I
if we
love
get
our
some
audio.
memes.
going to lead the way.
My
Every one of these
one of
states
my
is a different
conservative
set of
relatives today
circumstances
posted
that
a
by virtue of voting laws, by
a
virtue
picture
how many
of it was like a
people
meme,
voted early,
and it was like
and so many other
a
factors.
remembrance
But
of
as you
Robert
mentioned,
E.
it's
Lee,
Florida, it's Arizona,
which
it's
is like
certainly
that's pretty
Georgia,
indicative of like where we're at right now with this
Pennsylvania, it's Michigan,
with this
it's
election.
Wisconsin,
What did it
it's
say?
Iowa.
You know, I don't remember exactly, but it says like, let's share this photo of Robert E. Lee to remember him.
That's
Basically,
great. I got a pretty spicy meme.
pretty
Ooh, fucking
depraved.
yikes.
Not
Yeah.
just yet, and we will not have those calls until the
What's
I
up,
was
TJ?
reflecting today.
information to make them.
Oh, Justin can go, and then I'll share my meme.
Thank you.
Okay.
And so let's turn
Yeah,
now
go
to
ahead.
Texas.
Yeah, I was
Everyone
reflecting
in the
today
middle of the
about
country. I love that expression.
like
Middle of the country.
in
Gary
Maryland.
Abernathy,
Maryland is like pretty far
contributor
south. You know,
columnist
it's
for
like
the
south of the
Washington Post, who
Mason-Dixon.
joins us
So
from
there were
Cincinnati.
even like a
Patricia
fair number of
Lopez is the
Confederate names
editorial
for
writer for the
places
Star
where
Tribune
I
in St.
was
Paul,
near, right? And like
Minnesota.
even in Pennsylvania and
Gary
even in New York,
Abernathy,
you get
you and
some
I
of these
spoke a
Confederate
few
names.
hours ago about
But the
how
park
things
that
are
I
looking.
had
We've
my
been
high
talking
school
since
cross
then
country
about
practice in
the
was
fact
called
that
Robert
not
E.
only is
Lee
it
Park.
not a landslide
Yep.
for
Really
Joe
crazy.
Biden,
Makes sense.
a process that's going to take longer. We
Yeah.
don't know who the winner
Totally.
of the presidential election
All right, so this
is going to be,
meme,
fucked.
but we are
this
learning
meme,
something
it's a photo
about,
of
if you
Sandra
will,
Bullock from Bird Box
Trump
with
base.
the
And
cloth over her eyes, and it says,
Biden
"Me whenever Florida
base,
asks for prayers or donations during
How do you
disasters
see
caused by
that
climate change."
picture
Caused by climate change.
God.
That's pretty good.
Jesus Christ.
That's pretty good.
Oh man.
Well, that's
I'm just
right,
gonna keep
Jamie. I
scrolling
do
for
agree
memes.
with your
Yeah.
analysts who have pointed out that Trump has not expanded his message.
How do you feel
in a way
about
he didn't
those
try to
sorts of
reach out
memes, Justin?
and broaden his appeal with a new
I
message.
so I'm having some
But he
technical
took his
difficulties
message,
here. I
shoot,
might
okay.
have
message and managed to
to
broaden his base. with it. We see that so far. With
give
what
me
it looks
give me
like
one
it's
second.
just
I would love to hear it. I just can't understand a thing y'all are
Apparently,
Oh, okay.
that meme
same
format's pretty
message he's been
popular right
using,
now.
which is
This one
probably
says,
the
Bird
"Me when
Box.
Florida
that
posts
message.
GoFundMe's during
But
their next
we
hurricane
also
season,"
have
and it's
learned
also the
tonight
photo of Sandra Bullock with
there
the
does really appear to be
cloth
a
over her
quote-unquote
eyes.
shy Trump
I'm okay
voter
with that. I'm
who's
okay
very
with that.
hard to measure in the polls. The GOP
Yeah,
ground
you know,
game
I just
seems to be more important than the money spent
that
on
to me is a
television, where
little
Biden
like
outspent Trump.
you know, I'm of two minds on it because it's very funny, obviously, right?
Rallies throughout the last week
but
to 10 days,
you know,
these
Obviously, we're gonna help Florida when there's hurricanes.
yeah, no, I know, and I mean, you know, if we want to bring those people into our movement, maybe because I have a feeling that whoever posted that is a leftist, you know.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah.
But you know,
But that's fine. There's room for both. There's room for a little roasting.
that's true. That's
who
true.
are very, very confident tonight. I know a lot of people were saying, well, this still looks good for Biden and so on. They're sure not feeling that
Justin
way.
is just
I think it
having
will
a
take
rough go
another
at it right
24
now.
to 48
Everybody,
hours to
just
figure it out.
stand by,
But,
right?
Stand
I
by.
think it's going to be a very, very big election for Donald
But this
Trump.
one,
Let
this
me
is a
just
good
put it
one.
that way. And a question that was often asked of Trump is, would you accept
They all
the
say the
election
American
results?
people.
Will you accept the election results?
What? Oh, I
And it's a
wasn't
question
looking
that may
at
have
it.
to be asked of the other
Well, our
candidates
viewers
before
saw that amazing SpongeBob meme.
Everything everything Joe Biden has
And you
said
fucking
until
missed
now,
out.
he has
Yo,
said
actually,
that he
did
would
you see
accept the
that photo
results if
of
they were
Trump casting his vote?
verified and vetted and
No.
so forth.
I
Right, we
posted,
are
I reposted
still
on my
very
Instagram, and
early
it's
in the
like
process of figuring out
him
who the
and his
winner
wife,
is. There are a
and they're
number
at
of
the voting
important
booth, and he's like
states
looking
yet
over
to
at
come in.
first.
Oh, that's an old one.
I
Yeah,
know,
that's
but
yeah.
I thought that was very relevant to today.
Yeah, definitely. She's probably not voting for him.
What does it look like?
She wants to get out.
Yeah, she definitely wants to get out.
Yeah, I would too. She didn't sign up for this.
Data for Minnesota, it shows that far and away the
Justin has left the building. Apparently,
I told you this is how Justin dies.
Yep, he's I don't know what's going on.
So these are
What's
things that are driving them. We know that they were a factor in the polls.
Just not seeing any
votes.
updates right now.
Voters who are concerned about coronavirus have been tending to go for Biden. And the economy, it's a little more split.
Let's see, where's
right
Pennsylvania?
Now,
So still 54%
still a
reporting.
pretty decisive lead for
Ohio,
Biden with about
yeah,
half
not
the
even
votes
close.
in. But Trump has been narrowing that throughout the night. And if I could say a little word about Wisconsin.
Nevada. Now mine says Nevada. There's no results yet.
Yeah, mine does too.
I'm interested. That was a glitch in the system.
Florida with 98% reporting, and Trump is up by about like 400,000 votes. So
I will say, no hate to people from Nevada if anyone's watching, but Nevada kind of sucks.
Do you think so?
If you ever spent any sort of significant time there, Reno specifically. At least Las Vegas is like it is what it is, but Reno is like pretty rough.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
We played a show there at this bar called Jub Jubs, and ICP had played there like a couple nights before.
I mean, we know there hasn't been
Yeah.
a call yet
Pretty
in
funny.
the presidential race.
We were supposed to play there one time too.
Jub Jubs, dude, it's pretty gnarly.
It wasn't at that venue. It was somewhere.
Oh, it was probably at like they have like a. I'm trying to think of the equivalent here. I don't know if they're like the Bear Project in like. It's like the equivalent of that for Reno. It's like their all age like space.
For sure.
We still don't know the complete picture out of northern Minnesota.
Yeah, but our show got canceled there like while we were on the way. So I've never played in Nevada.
Yeah, it's not. But I will say like so we like picked up a last minute show there because we were on our way to Idaho and we just needed like something in between. And all the locals dropped.
At least in Minnesota.
So no one was there, and it was also on like.
The point that you were making about
yeah.
So like no one came obviously, and we didn't know anyone there. Actually, God, what's that band?
Is appealing to people who
They're on
didn't
Epitaph.
vote in 2016 at all, or who
we played
maybe
a show with them the
voted
night
for Hillary Clinton, or they voted for third party.
Let's see.
I think it's based on economics.
Looking at
I
some.
think they trust him. The economy was really roaring
in the
along
Senate races.
before the coronavirus.
Either way, yeah, Reno
That's an
sucks.
interesting
It's not.
question, Judy, because I think people are concerned about the coronavirus, and polls will say, yeah, that's their top concern.
Yeah, I don't know what's. I don't know where Justin's at.
We're reaching a point with that where almost all of us know people who have had it. We've seen what it is. We've seen what it is.
I've seen many updates.
It can be deadly. It can be dangerous.
Yeah, me either.
But, people are not maybe as.
It's not boding well for Biden.
They were, and the economy
Well, I mean, it's just not a good sign that he's not, leading in those northern states.
Differences, whether you're
but,
black, Hispanic, white,
yeah.
people care about the economy. And I would also like to add, though, Judy.
We will see.
We'll be here all night if we have to. We'll wait for these stats to change. We have nothing else going on with our lives.
And a good friend of mine pointed out to me a few days ago. He said,
so TJ, and one of your coworkers has COVID, right?
So, so last week, we were told that one of our coworkers had been like back traced for COVID. Like she had hung out with someone that got tested positive, so they asked her to test. And then so we were open still because she didn't come to work, and we were waiting for her test results. And she got a negative. So we're like, okay, cool. That was last week. And then today I was meant to go in, and on my way in, like right before I left, I got a call. It was like, hey, she actually got tested again. She's not feeling well. She has COVID. So we're closing down for, the next 2 days to get everyone tested. And then depending on like what that situation is, like if everyone comes back clean, we'll reopen. And if not, then we'll be closed for a couple weeks. But I'm getting paid for not being there, so that's cool.
That is cool. Did you get tested?
No, I'm gonna go get tested tomorrow.
Of course, another remarkable turn of events occurred a month ago.
But I'm feeling pretty good. So.
Contracted the virus.
Pretty sure I'm much like Trump. I'm immune to it.
Got various medical treatments, including experimental antibodies.
Yeah.
And then Jeff, a few days later, he was
and I might be immune now. I don't know.
Just describe the remarkable image
advantages of his return.
Oh my gosh.
It was really quite striking. You had the
Yeah,
Marine One landing on the White House lawn.
The
President
and
getting
yeah, the
out
election.
of
This
the
is
helicopter
this
and
was
returning
supposed
the
to
White
be a
House up those
referendum, or
balcony
is supposed to be a
steps, not the
referendum
way
on his
presidents usually
you
get
know,
into
his
the
COVID response,
White House.
which was
Standing on the balcony for
you know,
dramatic effect.
pretty
Really
fucking
great if you talk to
awful.
anybody from my
Now, I think
family.
that the signal that he was sending to
Right.
his supporters, look,
Yeah, that's
I
the thing.
survived.
Like,
I conquered the illness, and
I
so
had
can
seen
we.
someone
And
pointing
as
out
far
because
as the
there's a lot of
masks
polls
go,
about
who
you
needs a
know
mask, even though there were other people there.
you know
And it was
how
a
would you
further
rate
demonstration of how
President
that
Trump's
issue has been
response to the
politicized.
coronavirus pandemic, and
He
then
was giving a signal
it'll say
to
like
saying,
you know
"You don't have to worry about
60%
COVID.
of
I beat it."
Republicans or
The
70%
response
or
was just,
whatever
well, you know,
approve,
not everybody had
and
the
then people will
healthcare
post
that
that
you
and be
had.
like,
And I
how
think
is this even
further
possible? And someone
drove
pointed
the
out that like
issue
basically
into
when they
different
ask
political
those
camps,
questions in polling,
and the
like
cost of
They're
that
not
is
asking.
contained for a
the
while.
people who
Yeah.
the people who you're asking know what you're really what the real question that you're asking is,
Totally,
right?
and what
you're
the
gonna-
results
for-
going to be.
yeah, exactly. And so they're going to say, even if they don't think that he did an awesome job handling the pandemic, which nobody could, they're still going to say that he did because they support him.
Into an
right?
advantage politically. I mean, there was an ad he tweeted out just moments after that White House taking
So that
off
polling
of the
really
mask,
tells us more
made it
just
into a
about people's
political
willingness
advertisement.
to
I think
you know,
one of the things that
support him
potentially
regardless
happened,
of
if you
what
believe at
happens
least some
and
of the
where
medical
and you know
reports, is that these
suggests that
enormous
his whole
rallies,
idea about
which are themselves a
that he
kind
could
of a
shoot
rebuke
somebody
to the
on
medical
Fifth
community,
Avenue or
people
whatever
jammed
was
together,
pretty
most of
much
whom were
right.
not wearing
Yeah.
masks,
Ultimately, that's
has in
true.
fact
You
left a
could pretty
trail
much
of
do
Hilarious
anything.
video.
in their wake.
Yeah.
And I think for people
Yeah.
who were looking for the president to
And
provide some kind of leadership,
we're gonna
a
see if
constant,
you know
assertion
if people
that we've turned the
are
corner,
tired
the
of that
mocking of the press. They all
or if they
talk
want
about is
more
COVID, COVID,
or if they're coming
It
back
was
for more.
Just
not a
am
helpful
not
thing
excited
politically
for
the
like
president because it
everything
suggested to
that's
at least half the country
what the
on
world is going
board
to turn into in the
that
next
he
4 years if he
continued
wins.
not to take this pandemic with the seriousness
Yeah.
that about 240,000
Yeah, me either.
deaths might have suggested.
4 more years of 2020, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Biden winning is not, you know,
amazing.
It'll be better. It'll be better in terms of like, you know, mask wearing and stuff. There might be some like mask mandates, and you know, I mean, it's more. He would be a lot more likely to do a shutdown if it was necessary than.
I
Trump.
do see a lot of people talking about how everything's going to be better under Biden as well, which is
right. Yeah, that's not, you know, that's not an accurate way to think about it. Things will be a little better
for some people, probably.
For yeah, I mean, well, okay, I mean, you know, for immigrants and refugees, I'm gonna say yes, it'll be better. You know, for people who have pre-existing conditions, yeah. I mean, so I mean, I actually think it will be better for most people.
I'm always so surprised about how many people in my family that are like, you know, Mexican or not white are just like love Trump.
And we are going to do that right
Yeah.
now.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Good morning to you.
A lot of people who obviously these you know are petty bourgeois business owners, right? Doesn't one of your family members own a business or something?
Yeah. My brother-in-law's family, they own like a fruit stand and winery in
Most of those were expected.
Oh
A lot
yeah,
of those were
and they're very,
business
very
owners.
strong.
But we are noticing some
Yeah,
trends
because
in
they
some
didn't like the
companies,
whole
like
thing
Sheeple
where
that
they
come
had
in
to
to
you know,
this
give
night
their
as
employees health
those opposing
insurance and
shooting.
stuff, and
Expectations
like,
they could gain 5
you know,
to
and
20
to be
seats.
fair, I
But
mean,
so
for
far,
some
they're not
businesses,
seeing the wins
you
that
know,
they
it
were
was a
hoping
thing
for.
where if
Here's
you
what
had
we
like
have right
50
now, all
employees
those
or
seats
more,
that
so I
were
don't know
called.
if
But
your
let's look at this
relatives.
first race
No,
right
no,
now in
Right.
Florida, 26th
But
district. This is
for
Miami-Dade.
business owners,
We've been talking about
that's one of
all
the things
night.
that they really
Big
don't
time
like.
Hispanic,
Any
Latino
obviously
vote
any
coming out
any
for
sort
Trump
of
is what we've been hearing. Also coming out
any
for this
sort of
Dem.
government
Carlos
intervention they
Jimenez,
don't
he is
like
the
a lot of the
mayor of
time, and so that's
Miami-Dade.
why we
He
have
has
a
on
lot
stage
of
tonight
the,
according to the
you know,
Associated
petty
Press, Deborah
bourgeois
Marcasel Powell.
class.
She was
They go
elected
with
in
the
2018
Republicans
in that
usually.
2018 sweep. She's
or
not
people
able to
that
run
wish
on
they
the
were
red seat
millionaires
tonight.
or think that they're
Another
going to become
2018
or people
Democratic
exactly,
freshman in
yes,
New
people
York.
who are not
Max Rose.
haven't gotten there
This
yet,
is
but they're
a
going to be
race
there
that
soon.
has not been called yet.
That's
but
true.
Look at the difference
Yep.
here. 95%
Justin said he needs to
supported over
restart
there,
his
as you
computer.
have, Amna. But Nicole Malliotakis, 58%. She
Yeah.
is someone, she's worked for
I didn't restart my
George Pataki. She's been
Yeah, go ahead,
a
Justin. I don't know.
Republican aide, worked
Yeah,
for
Tyler just
Marco
gave you
Rubio,
the
but
go
I just
Max
gave you the.
Rose in trouble.
You're
Republicans
allowed to
think this is
restart
a
your
law and
computer
order
now.
You're allowed. I'll
having
allow
to
it.
do with
Tyler's in the
He's
loud.
probably not listening to us right now.
Black Lives Matter protest, and they
But
used that as
hope he's doing okay. I hope he's alive.
against him. So he's in
Hope
trouble
he's
tonight.
not
However,
dead.
there's a race that
Oh, he's
we
gonna
see
send out a new
Democrats
Zoom
picking
link.
up. This is in I'm sorry,
Shit.
this is Illinois. This is
That
not a race
sucks.
they're
Yeah, I
picking
guess he's gonna
up.
have
This
to
is
do
Sherry
that, right?
Bustos'
Or
race
can't
in
he
the
just join?
17th
Can he just
district.
join this one?
Very
Yeah,
big deal. Sherry
he
Bustos,
absolutely can just join this
is
one.
the
Can you
woman
tell him that?
running
Tell him
the
to just join
Democratic
this one.
Congressional Campaign Committee. She is
So we don't have to
overseeing
like.
Democrats' House campaign, and she herself right now
That sucks.
is
Though.
in dire straits.
I'm not clicking on any
She's
link
leading
he
this
sends
race
me.
by just over 110 votes out of 250,000.
We're boycotting the new link.
of the expected vote in. You know, I was on a call
Not
with
all
her
links are
recently,
created
and,
equal.
Any
she felt
updates?
she could get this done.
Biden up to
It's very close. This is
213.
a rural
Yep.
Trump district.
What got
Maybe
finalized? What?
Let's go to some
Did I
other
miss
races.
something?
Another
Let's
one.
see.
Virginia Senate. This is Abigail
It could have been New
Spanberger. Look at this
Mexico.
margin. 99% reporting. Spanberger down by more than
Well,
20
and Washington
points.
and
This is
California, I
another
think. At
Trump
least a while ago,
district.
only Oregon
Now,
was in
this
there.
is a much
Oh,
more
really? I
district
thought Washington,
than
California were
anyone
set.
might have
Oh,
expected.
maybe they
She's
were.
a
I could
strong
be wrong.
incumbent. She's been hard
Was
to
it
beat.
was it
But
Illinois?
it looks like she's being
No.
overwhelmed
Could
right now
be.
by Republican
Let's see. Did
enthusiasm down the center
yeah,
of
could
Virginia,
be.
and that includes Richmond.
Clinton.
That
So
district.
Clinton
So
won
we're
Illinois.
seeing a lot of Democratic
You know,
incumbents in 20
I'm
no,
looking
a
at the
couple of them are
2016
vulnerable,
map, and I'm
who are
seeing
looking like they're in trouble.
just
And of course,
seeing
we wanna
almost
take a
the
look at all
same
the
thing.
Senate races as well. We know 35
Arizona,
seats are up
although
for
Biden
election
is,
tonight. The
let's see,
AP so
Biden is
far
leading in
called
Arizona,
24
which is
Mhm.
good. He's probably going to win
races
Arizona.
of power. Let's walk through some of these
Yeah,
races.
I would
Which
assume
is
so.
cool.
Let's
So
just
that's
look at one
good.
more
That's.
before we let go. I know there's a lot of
Are there
numbers for
any
everyone, but
other?
North
Let's see.
Carolina, this is a
Did
key one for whether
so yeah.
Democrats can pick up the Senate, right? We've
This
been talking about it all night. Tom Tillis, the incumbent.
I'm
Hal
just
Cunningham,
comparing.
his
But if we're
challenger.
just looking at this map, if Trump wins all of these places that he's leading
Less
in,
than 100,000 votes.
that's
And here's something
that's
about
it,
North
yeah.
Carolina. 93%
Well,
of
yeah,
the expected
because
vote is in.
Biden would need to,
Votes can
you know,
still come
Biden
in
would need to get to
until November
270,
12th.
right?
North
If
Carolina,
Biden doesn't
as long
win
as
any
they're
other states,
postmarked.
but he's going to win
Local
Arizona.
election
We're looking
Yeah.
at that, right? That's
North
11,
Carolina.
and he's
Go ahead
going to
and
win
we'll be
Maine,
back here.
probably.
That's another
Awesome.
10.
How many people mailed
So
in their
11
votes
and 10,
on
so
the last day?
21,
How
or
would we
no, that's
possibly know
Maine
that?
has
The
4
question is
electoral
what
votes, so
House
that's
postmark-
15.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was looking at
Um,
Minnesota.
Associated Press
No,
wants
it's
to
okay.
wait
So then
to
that
see
puts
how
Biden
you
at
feel about this
228.
race. But this is very good news for Tom
And if
Tillis.
he
Wait, you
wins
think he's going to
Minnesota,
win? No, yeah, he's definitely going to win
if he
Minnesota.
if he wins Minnesota, then it will be 238.
This is better than I think they expected he'd be
You
doing
know,
at this hour.
Trump's going to win Iowa. Trump's going to win Texas. Trump's going to win Florida. Oh shit.
So there's that, Judy.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, you look at it, what, 100,000 votes? I'm looking over, about 100,000,
I
a
don't
little
know.
less than 100,000. That's right.
Let's
Votes.
see.
But who knows where
I'm
we
trying to
don't
help
know
Justin
where
Wale.
those votes are yet to come in. All right.
While I look at
Very,
this.
very
Gotta keep
helpful.
the
We have been illuminated. Good. Thank you both very much, Amna and Lisa. Right now, we're going to go to the White House. Yamiche Alcindor is there. Standing at this place where the president is watching the results. Yamiche, the president has to be somewhat relieved that the race is still.
We may have to
involved,
pause the
that he's
stream.
Still very much in the running
Sheeple.
here.
That's right. Trump
We
campaign
may have
as well as
to,
the president believe that he's
which
very much still
sucks.
in the running, that he has
Hey, I'm back.
multiple pathways
Oh,
to get
there
to
he
that
is.
270 critical
He's back.
electoral votes
He's
in order
back.
to win. But Judy,
Like,
I
what
have
are
to
y'all
tell you, there's
talking
a bit
about?
of
He's back in
volatile
black.
situation,
I
something
I
that
wish I
is
could have
not
Trump winning
expected.
this election.
While the
I
AP
was
has
kind
not
of
called the state of
lamenting
Arizona,
over
so
the
there
fact
is
that
no
the map
official
kind of
result.
looks like
Of
the
course, we're
2016
looking at
map
the
right
AP
now.
results for our own determinations here at the News Hour. But Fox News did
The
call
only
Arizona for
the
Joe
only
Biden,
state I'm
and the
seeing
Trump
that's
campaign,
flipped
as well as
is
the president, are
Arizona,
furious at Fox News. This is
which, like,
a rare
which is
instance
nice, but
where you see the president lashing out
Yeah,
at Fox
It's
it's
not gonna
nice.
do
I
it.
think that he's gonna win Wisconsin. I think
You think
probably
so?
Michigan. I think Wisconsin. Yeah,
you think
definitely.
you think Trump is going to win Wisconsin?
Oh no, I think Biden's gonna win Wisconsin.
Okay, what do you have? Do you have a look at the different precincts? Because what I'm looking at is Trump with a lead in Wisconsin and with 3/4 of the votes.
74% reporting. He's up 51, almost 52.
So
It's
just
true, but
Justin,
it's looking like the like a lot of the counties around Madison are not. They've reported like one of them's Iowa County's reported 52% of the biggest county. Dane County's only reported 82%.
There is still a
we can
chance for
see.
Michigan too, I guess.
Yeah,
53%
I think that like
reporting.
very much feels like they are in a.
I think especially when we look at mail-in ballots, if they're allowed to be counted, I think that's really where Biden's going to take the lead. That's the problem,
Very interesting.
That is the problem.
Yamiche,
that is the thing I'm worried about. Justin, can you send the link in the chat to what you're looking at?
Yeah.
Where you get to expand the counties.
Totally. Can you send again the link to the newsfeed?
Yeah.
Making the call.
Thank you. Look at us helping each other.
Thank you very much.
How's our chat feeling?
Teamwork.
Let me get away, yo. Anyone here from Scottsdale?
No. Is that in Arizona?
Scottsdale.
Yeah, totally. Just like doing bad stand-up tour material, but fucking.
I don't think I could survive in Arizona. Too hot.
It's fucking hot as hell. There was a news story a couple of years ago. It was 2 years ago about a couple planes who couldn't take off and at the Phoenix airport in summer because their tires melted to the tarmac.
Why would you ever want to live in a place like that? What is why? What's the up of that? If you're from Arizona, please tell me why.
It's beautiful.
I want to understand. Yeah, I don't think
I don't think it used to be that hot,
I don't know if it's that beautiful in the desert. It's like cool for like when you see it, you're like, oh wow, the desert's pretty cool. Look at that tumbleweed. And then you're like, oh my god, like my face is melting.
I mean, it's beautiful, but it's desolate as hell. It's like Sonora. It's like northern Sonora, pretty much in a lot of ways.
That's not beautiful to me. I mean, I'm sure like there are aspects of it that are beautiful. I want trees.
I don't know. I've been there once.
Ocean and rain and fucking not sand, not
strategy of trying to
win in
the courts after.
Cactuses are cool, dude. I'm gonna go pro cactus here.
Oh, it's Hawaii, Tyler. Oh no, never mind.
Let's talk for a second about what do we think what happens with the Democrats if they lose this, if Biden loses tonight?
It's unclear. I mean, they were saying that
I think it's really going to depend on how the Senate looks.
If there was something to talk about, he would
There's
talk
still
about
a pretty good chance from what I've seen
means
that
anything,
like
but we've seen
Senate could go Dems. I think that
arriving at
that
drive-in rally,
is really,
And that's what we need.
Yeah, we absolutely fucking need that. And also it's just like what's going to decide how bad this gets or like how good this is, really.
Right.
That's going to be the deciding factor, I think, in terms of making this a bearable Biden presidency or a like survivable Trump presidency.
Sure.
Campaign. So let's return to our
fucking
of analysts.
it's a real fucking bummer because it's like on the one hand, if I hope Dems win, absolutely. Like, I really hope that Biden wins. But like I just know that for the next fucking 30 years we're gonna have to hear about how like, oh, it's really centrism that is the reason that Biden won, and like it's centrism, it's fucking incrementalism, it's meeting people in the middle that is what is going to like win elections. So like that fucking sucks. But like, whatever. Like I'll
take it.
I'll fight the criticism anytime
I mean, I guess they could make that argument, but then, I mean, it was also centrism that lost in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
In 2016. So I'm not too worried about having to argue against that, but.
I mean, I don't think that argument holds water, but I do think that fucking like the ghouls on corporate media will certainly spin that fucking live.
The Goombas.
That's true. It's true.
Guidos.
Big Goomba.
Guidos. All those Guidos in corporate media.
Oh my god.
Dude, Italians run the media. Say it. I know it's
that's my second favorite conspiracy. Italian secretly run the media. I mean, hey, it's not far out. I mean, like, mafia.
Dude, we're gonna be eating mozzarella sticks by June.
What happens if Italians take over the United States? Everybody eats mozzarella sticks. That's it.
This is highly offensive right now, you guys.
No, I don't care about
Italian babies. Italian babies don't get infant formula. They just suck on breadsticks. Not fucking breadsticks, fucking mozzarella sticks.
Mozzarella sticks. If you're Italian, I'm sorry, but I love your culture.
I love your food.
I definitely love your food.
Aficionado of.
But
of
you're also
different
white,
mozzarella
so I
sticks.
don't really care about making fun of you on
Exactly.
So
I think at this point, talking shit about Irish people, talking shit about Italian people, I think it's fair game. As far as I can say. Sorry, what were you saying, Tyler?
Yeah, my QAnon buddy posted a picture on Facebook of him putting his ballot in the mail, which he lives in Oregon. He definitely should have just actually mailed it instead of he posted a picture of him putting his ballot in the drop box, you know.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point. And he captioned it as like I'm like basically I'm voting out or I'm voting against communism.
Yeah, he said because when the communists take over America, I'm going back to Mexico. Bro, I'm gonna speak as a Mexican, and we don't want you there. And we don't want you at all.
So he was taking a shot at known communist Joe Biden there, obviously.
That's the thing is like, you know,
Commie Joe is what they call him. Commie Joe.
Comrade
Joe. We call him Uncle
Comrade
Joe.
Joe.
Yeah, he's the one
Uncle
that's
Joe.
Comrade, yeah.
Uncle Joe. He's there you go. I didn't even think of that.
There it is.
Okay.
That's his name, man. He's ranking senior official Uncle Joe. But like, it's just like I think that some right-wing politicians understand what actual left-wing politics is. I think some
so
of them
too.
understand. But like the fact that there are people who legitimately believe that Joe Biden is a fucking communist is honestly just insane to me. Or that like anything he does even comes close to approaching socialism.
It's just because it's literally just like left is like socialist.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
The socialist left.
It's like it's democratic socialism ish, you know. But I think like European democratic socialism is even more like radical than ours is. But like I think it's like a
well, yeah, those are
I
like
I don't mean to talk to cast shade. I don't know if y'all are democratic socialists or whatever.
Oh no, I was just like social democracy, at least on the real political spectrum, right? If you were putting that on this political spectrum in the United States, yes, it is radical, I guess, because it is completely unacceptable within the mainstream, and because we don't have a social democratic party, and the Democratic Party that we have is fully hostile to social democracy, right?
Yo, I'll be right back.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah, it's like remarkably hostile, I would say.
Yeah, and that was obviously borne out in the primary. I mean, all the candidates felt the need to establish their capitalist bona fides. Even the supposed progressive, Elizabeth Warren said she was a capitalist to her bones, right?
There was one person on the debate stage who was willing to criticize capitalism.
Right, exactly. And he was totally screwed over, right?
He was. I will say there's shout outs to Marianne Williamson on this point too. She actually does pretty good, I think, of a criticism of capitalism.
True. Yeah, Marianne Williamson
people got problems with her for I think pretty valid reasons, but like I definitely like seeing her up there.
Yeah. And if I had to pick between all those candidates, she would have actually been my second choice.
Yeah, I would say too. Yeah.
Yeah, because I trust her more than I trust even like the ones who are ostensibly sort of further left, like Elizabeth Warren. I do not.
Yeah,
at this
exactly.
point,
I mean, like,
not, yeah.
Yeah, like Elizabeth Warren was vying to be Joe Biden's VP. That is something Marianne Williamson probably not gonna do. I think maybe. No. I mean, like these people are all politicians, so fucking who knows? But I don't really see. I don't see Marianne Williamson like selling out really in that way. It's like when you have like a person who's not a politician in office, it's a good thing because they don't like have all this internalized things about like how things have to work or the bullshit that you have to do in order to be successful and all.
Although at the same time, when someone says they're not a politician and they're running for office, that's a massive red flag.
It's bad because that's what Trump did, right? So like we have this like gut-wrenching association with it.
I'm pretty
not
sure
bad in its own right.
Right, I'm pretty sure he still says he's not a politician.
Yeah, it's like he fucking first ran for president in the 90s. Like,
oh, did he run in the 90s?
I don't. It's like he didn't. I don't know. I think he filed paperwork, right? He campaigned a little bit, but this was like he is, I think, largely responsible for the collapse of the Green Party in national politics.
You check him out.
That's what Ralph Nader's party was, right? It was Green.
Green, yeah, I think so.
Right.
I think he ran on Green, yeah. And so like Donald Trump, what he did is that he was like did this like thing where he like announced he was running for the Green Party, but didn't campaign, and then had a bunch of media appearances where he was like fucking just like making a mockery of the whole thing, pretty much. And then Ross Perot got like none of the he was like tanked the Green Party pretty much. This is the second time I'm bringing it up tonight. I promise I get my news sources from other places too, but the documentary Get Me Roger Stone. I promise I get my news from other places too, but if you look at the top of some Snapple containers, I think they give you some really good unbiased reporting.
I like YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, YouTube and just like any comment section on Reddit.
Well, that's the good stuff. Yeah.
Fucking
YouTube.
Goddamn, I completely lost my train of thought.
Sorry, I fucked it up.
You were talking about the Green
it's
Party
okay.
thing.
Oh yeah, the Green Party. Yeah, so Get Me Roger Stone, the documentary Get Me Roger Stone is really, really good. It follows Roger Stone's political career. It's on Netflix. It's really absolutely worth a watch.
Interesting.
Just kind of seeing like he was a major political operative for the right and like a person who was known for dirty tricks. So I think that he was really somebody who I think inspired a generation of complete and absolute shitbags.
Yeah, kind of a dirty trickster.
Bit of a rat fucker. And he has since come to Jesus. Now he is leading like one of his recent tours was the Saul to Paul journey was how it was billed.
Oh,
so he was
man.
depicting himself as the first pope explicitly. Like
pretty yeah.
Trump to 136.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna
sounds like
take
he's asking for a John 15:35. Am I right?
I'm gonna take a look at this map now. Okay, so
I'm bluffing.
any okay, so
that he is the winner yet, but the former astronaut did say, Judy,
man,
that quote, when the votes are
Biden's pretty fucking behind in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, 41 to 57.
Are we gonna know about
600,000 votes?
Are we gonna know about Pennsylvania tonight?
We won't know tonight.
We
have
won't
to
know
count
tonight.
mail-in ballots. There's a huge proportion of their votes.
Yeah.
We could go live again tomorrow.
Yeah, we could.
That took 6 days to officially
Let's see.
We should just go live anytime I'm getting into a fight with somebody on Twitter.
We could do that.
Address the beef now.
Are you fighting someone on Twitter right now?
Dude, I fight people on Twitter every day.
But I'm just talking about right now.
I'm beefing with at ANCAP 69420 right now, and I gotta go live to talk about it.
It's just Justin sitting in his truck with like his phone facing him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I gotta.
Hey guys. Yeah, exactly. Got a lot on my mind right now.
Hey, what's up, Sheeple? I'm just gonna wait for people to join.
Yeah, that's definitely. I'm gonna wait.
And then
for
he's
people
like,
to
all right, yeah, no, I'm just still waiting for people to join.
Yeah, thanks for all the love in the Facebook live stream and also on our Twitch stream.
Trump up to 145.
I really need to address what Stalin Queef 69 said about me earlier.
Oh my God.
Look, yeah, Stalin Queef called me a revisionist, and that is very typical of the tankies to use that term. So I'm gonna have to address this. Just give me 10 minutes, everybody.
I would
Bear with
just
me.
like to point out that that Stalin Queef called me a modernist, a postmodernist actually.
A
and I
postmodernist,
take
yeah.
A postmodernist, if you can believe it. I take great offense to that term, sir. I take great offense.
So
You
yeah,
besmirch my honor.
Trump just jumped up to 145. What caused that? I don't know what caused. I see now though that he has won. He has won Ohio.
Montana.
Montana. Yeah, it was
Okay,
Montana.
okay.
Montana, Ohio.
Okay, yeah, he has won. He's so
Ohio
That
is
sucks.
for Republicans.
that does
Yeah.
suck. Ohio
I
would have
think,
been
I think
a nice
Ohio
surprise.
is for lovers.
Oh,
I'm glad that you got that. I would like.
Certainly is.
I would like that fucking rip that says Ohio is for Republicans.
We should go through state slogans sometime and just shit on
What's
state
Oregon's?
slogans.
What's our state slogan?
I don't know.
Fucking armed militias. I don't know, something. We'll work on it. We'll come up with some good alternatives.
Oregon's is our state motto. She flies her own wings. She flies with her own wings.
The state motto that we all know and love.
You know whose state motto is really cool? Is Oklahoma.
What is
What's
it?
Hang on a second. I remember because my chef used to have a sticker of it. Labor conquers all things.
That's pretty cool.
Which is like really tough. It's like super tough.
That's
Yeah,
very tough.
Because he had it like he had a big sticker that said that on his MacBook, and I was like, dude, what is that from? He's like, oh, that's like Oklahoma state motto.
Labor.
God damn.
It's pretty dope.
Jeez,
Pretty
yeah,
dope.
that's sick.
Oklahoma's a super interesting place because it was developed as the history of it is it was Indian territory. Like that was the last remaining place that was still considered like Indian territory, like territory governed by tribes, considered theirs, not considered the U.S. government's. And it was like pretty much broken apart by just the government insisting on dividing up all of the land in that and assigning individual title to people for land that was held communally. So a lot of people sold their land, which, you know, of course they did, right? They were being starved and shit. But it's like, so for like, you know, because it was Indian territory, or Indian country rather, like their state flag has like a lot of like indigenous symbolism. Their like license plates and shit have that. Like they actually have like a lot of interesting like state structures set up, I think, specifically serving native folks because there are so many there. So
Right.
pretty interesting place. Obviously, the fucking right-wing Republican leadership in a lot of Oklahoma is horrifying, but there's a lot of good, interesting history there too. And I think perhaps if we had not seen the Dust Bowl in American history, perhaps Oklahoma would be a different. It'd be a different situation. Be a lot more people there. Might be more of a blue place.
I'm looking at some state mottos. Wisconsin's is just forward.
Yeah.
How's that going now, Wisconsin?
Florida's got 96% reporting, but still
Florida's
has not.
Trump.
Yeah, still has not been called though. Interestingly enough, but it will be. Yeah. Yikes. Georgia with 82% reporting, and Trump's like 8% ahead of Biden. He's ahead by like almost 400,000 votes, or 300,000.
It's not boding well, gentlemen.
Well, at least not Florida or Georgia.
Or North Carolina.
Florida-Georgia line.
Right, or
Good
North
band.
Carolina.
Good band.
All right, so I mean,
Shout out
I
to
guess
Mountain Goats.
you know, it's looking like this is really as sort of expected, you know, coming down to the northern states.
I would just like to point out that as of right now, all of my election predictions are proving true. That is, if Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania go Biden, then I'll have 100%.
I mean, in
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, for example,
Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania.
The big question is,
Yeah, if they all go Biden,
that's right.
that's what I was expecting, which is a narrow win, but it is a win. And Arizona too.
I was predicting Biden to win. I mean, I still am hopeful, but I was hoping that he was going to have a more commanding lead in the northern states and possibly win Florida. I was that was stupid. I never should have.
It would have been cool.
I can't believe you fucking thought that, dude.
I
mean, I thought and still kind of think Trump's gonna win. So.
Yeah, you did.
He really might.
I kind of called it. I kind of won. So what's my prize?
You did say that Trump was going to win. That is true.
You side with Trump, you always win. You know what I'm saying?
It was just like, dude, he had COVID.
Everyone fucking wins.
He had COVID. He had the virus that he told everybody was not a big deal. And
you're underestimating how moronic the American people are.
He asked if he was going out like Stan. No, guys, he asked if he was going out like Stan Chera. He literally had the virus and he thought he was going to die. He thought he was going to die.
Fucking
and
the Lord walks a different path, bro.
Hey, I'm just gonna say, Jesus, if you really love me, you're gonna kill Donald Trump with coronavirus. Just put it all on the line.
That would be a blessing. He did it to my coworker so I could be here. So it's not a far step.
Justin,
yeah, it's pretty fucked.
Can we take a look at the counties in can we actually what if we get a look at like Michigan? Or Wisconsin or actually Wisconsin, because that one is getting close.
Wisconsin's gonna go. It's gonna go Biden.
Representatives and all those.
We're looking at right now. That is my official Sheeple's Army prediction.
But okay, what is that based on? Because I'm seeing Trump is currently ahead by over 100,000.
So Trump is up by 120,000 votes right now. I think so. I think it bears mentioning. I actually led a training on this at work this week, just about what we could potentially expect from this election and kind of what we should do in response. And the big thing that people were predicting because of COVID, because of the large number of mail-in ballots, is that on election night it might look like Trump is ahead in a couple key battleground states, but there are a huge number of ballots that haven't been processed, the largest amount of mail-in votes in the history of the country for obvious reasons, right?
True.
And so for this reason, there is going to be a delay.
Sleepy Joe could just fucking slip right through in there.
Yeah, exactly. There always is this kind of thing to a certain extent, but exactly what you're saying, TJ, right? Number one, Uncle Joe Chairman Joe can
Uncle Joe sneaking in through the back door is what you're saying.
Exactly, right? So this is the media story that they've been fucking seeding for the past several weeks. It's just that it's gonna come down to mail-in ballots and the Democrats are gonna steal it, and they've just been planting the seed a little bit and when they can they throw it in, they'll make things that aren't about this at all about that, and now what we're seeing is Trump saying that we're not going to count any ballots past election day, but that's not. Mail-in ballots are good if they're postmarked by election day. They should be everywhere. But with all of the cuts to the post office, it's questionable how effective that's going to be, how many of those ballots are going to be counted. So
he sowed the
very
seeds,
clear strategy.
What's
that?
He sowed the seeds.
He did. They've been trying to do it from a lot of angles.
What was the state that where the Supreme Court had ruled that they didn't have to count them? Wasn't there a recent ruling?
I think it was Wisconsin or Pennsylvania.
the case, if that's accurate, then we've got Georgia.
Well, that would be bad if it were either one of those.
It is definitely either one of those, and it is definitely bad. I think it was Pennsylvania.
Well, if it's Pennsylvania, then Biden's gonna lose. That's what I said.
He might, but like I saw also that the mail-in ballots, there were twice as many registered Dems who returned mail-in ballots as Republicans.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, that's not counting independents, which is a big chunk of the electorate, but like there's a really good chance if that much of the population is breaking for Biden, there's a pretty good chance that Biden is gonna pull out a win in Pennsylvania. Like I definitely think that Trump and company are going to try to make this a thing where it's like, oh, like they're trying to steal the election from the American people. I don't know if it's gonna work. Like I think it could work. I think there's a lot of potential that it could work, and that would be a huge fucking problem. But if we look at, for example, like what the Dems did, what they actually impeached Trump for, like what was it? It was for going after fucking Hunter Biden in Ukraine. It's like, you know, it's like
leave Hunter Biden alone, bro. Leave my man's alone. So what if he took a fucking Russian vacation?
Yeah, honestly, you know, like I think that the criticism of Hunter Biden is probably not gonna stick to Joe Biden. I don't think
No, nobody gives a shit about that.
Like,
at least nobody who was planning to vote for Joe Biden is not gonna now not vote for him because of Hunter Biden's
it's not good.
video.
Definitely, and I don't endorse it, but also I don't think it's a voting issue.
I'd like to see an American Pie style movie made about his trip to Russia.
Oh my god, I would vomit.
If you could
find something like that, I would 100% watch it. Absolutely. Yeah.
HB does Russia.
What does it say about our
Ukraine?
Or Ukraine.
Yeah.
So this
Whatever,
is, you know,
bro.
this is taking a slightly different tack, admittedly. But wait, what do you say, TJ?
Oh no.
No, it's fine. What were you gonna say, Justin?
This is taking a slightly different tack, but I think it says a very interesting thing about us as people and us as a society, that pretty much anything that is political is fetishized and turned into porn.
Yeah.
Like, one example of this that was like really striking to me was, and I actually heard about this. I didn't see this personally. You know, it's not to say that, you know, I don't watch porn or whatever, but I didn't see this firsthand. But
You don't want people to think you don't watch porn.
I don't want people to think I watch porn. I also don't want people to think that I don't watch porn. So,
Right, that
whatever you want to believe, you know, just so you know, I agree with you. I do whatever you do, but
I do whatever you do. That's the Sheeple's Army motto.
That's the Sheeple's Army motto. Yeah, I'm just a follower, you know. Fucking but like there was this like quarantine porn that came out, like people like, you know,
oh yeah, I've seen it,
sex under this weird like enforced quarantine thing, right? Like, and like there is like, you better believe there is
that bad taste?
terabytes of yes.
Is that bad taste?
That is bad taste.
I feel like that started. I feel like quarantine porn started like instantly, like
that's
right off the
like,
bat.
Fucking right away.
People were like,
fucking right away.
Porn.
Fucking right away.
Fucking in hazmat suits.
Yeah, exactly. Like absolutely, and that is 100% accurate. 100% accurate. And there is absolutely, positively terabytes of porn of people pretending to be Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And
that's kind of
I think that shit's weird. Like, why?
Yeah, I mean that's weird. Yeah, that's
weird. Like, what does that say? Like, a lot of people engage with that media. Like, that's...
Yeah.
I made a really funny meme that's relevant to this conversation that I will send to the chat privately.
It will be available for our Patreon subscribers.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
President Trump, and there it is.
Well, I want updates. I want updates.
Yeah.
Well, Trump's at 174 now.
3 points.
Yeah.
174 electoral votes.
It's Florida.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Florida
he
got
took
called.
Florida.
Yeah.
You know, Wisconsin's at almost 80% already.
Yeah,
reporting.
Justin, I want to know where your confidence about.
I don't think
Wisconsin.
I don't think we're gonna take Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is only down by 100,000 votes, and like there's been record turnout in this election. It's like really, really, really what I think is Wisconsin and fucking hopefully not, but maybe Michigan or maybe also Pennsylvania are really gonna come down to mail-in votes. There's a huge number of mail-in votes.
Nevada is well, it's only 2% reporting, but
the cameras and speak to a crowd of
Yeah, Nevada.
What are you talking about?
Nevada's been real slow.
Yeah,
I think that Dems are gonna win Nevada. I think Biden's gonna win Nevada.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
He certainly should. I mean, even Hillary won Nevada.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to lose Nevada. Nevada is like pretty fucking blue. But like, yeah, you know, I mean, it's really gonna come down to it. Like, you know, we can't underestimate, I don't think, the role that COVID is playing in mail-in ballot turnout. Right, and like a lot of people are returning them today. You know, hopefully people got them in early, but we'll have to see. And like, we're just really fucking rolling the dice big time on this. The fact that we had more people voting. I do think that if they counted all the ballots, it would be clear victories, but we'll just have to see what they do.
So Pennsylvania and North Carolina is where they will be able to count the ballots, the mail-in ballots, which is good. That was where one of the recent rulings.
Do you think we're not gonna take North Carolina?
Is Biden gonna take North Carolina? I actually have no idea. About
it's just down by 80,000 votes, so probably not, but maybe. It'd be cool if he did. If he won North Carolina, he probably wins.
It would be a lot cooler if he did.
It would be cooler if you did.
It would be.
That was a terrible McConaughey impression.
That was pretty bad.
I got a friend I went to college with. He used to do a Matthew McConaughey impersonation once a week on the radio.
Was it pretty good? Bring him on the pod.
It was like definitely bring him on the pod as fake Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, that could be kind of funny.
Come on.
Friend of the pod, Matthew McConaughey lookalike.
Fake Matthew McConaughey. Thing is, he doesn't look like him, but the whole thing was an impersonation of him, and he would bring people on to do impersonations of other people.
God, I'm tired.
Wild.
They're going to do everything
Let's look at. I think one of the things that oh no, go for it. I was just gonna. I'm checking the stream.
Oh yeah, how's our stream doing? We're getting any interaction.
We're at a strong 5.
Oh yeah! Shout out to the 5 people watching us.
It went down. It was a lot more earlier. People are getting.
We had
tired
11, but
I think it was more than that.
Really? How much do you think we got?
I don't know.
In 2016,
million?
now in 2020, he's
definitely a million. I wonder what the record is for like most viewed Twitch stream.
AOC recently got one of the highest viewed Twitch streams of all time.
Shout out AOC.
The highest viewed ones are shout out AOC, friend of the pod.
Yeah. Probably some fucking 12-year-old kid playing like Fortnite or some shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. It was definitely a professional gamer playing Fortnite, or
maybe we get really good at Fortnite and then go political after.
Thank you very much, Joel.
Honestly, like getting really good at video games might be one of the best electoral strategies I can think of.
Imagine if Joe Biden was like really good at video games.
Yeah, dude, Biden just needs to sit down with the American people and play a nice game of Miss Pac-Man.
Be nice. A little couple rounds of Smash.
Yeah, exactly. Biden just needs to put on a backwards hat, needs to shotgun a natty, and he needs to visit the frat houses of the country and beat their ass with Donkey Kong. You know?
Yeah. Tyler, do you think that Biden would be more or less likable if he had a video game set up at all his gatherings and played a couple rounds of Smash with people?
Tyler, would you shotgun a beer with Joe Biden and then beat him in Smash?
I think it would be sort of pandery.
Only because he's so old. That's kind of ageist of you.
Well,
dude, the frat bros are gonna be sitting there being like, "Ooh, I don't like how he's portraying us."
I'm gonna push back on that. I think even if a younger candidate did the same thing, I would say he was pandering. He was doing
Could be kind of sick though.
How do you do there, fellow kids?
Oh yeah, he might be doing one of those. That's Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
He might be doing a Buscemi.
I think he would be doing that. So it would be kind of cringe. If it came off as like he really was into it, then that would be pretty chill.
It was like handing out
like he was an actual gamer. Then like yeah, that'd be cool. But nobody's gonna believe that Biden plays Super Smash Bros. Or knows what that is. Right?
What's Biden talking about right now? Let's see. He's on track to win the election.
We knew because of
I was saying
let's turn it up. Let's
get a little listen
to what Biden's saying.
We're going to have to be patient until the hard work of tallying the votes is finished.
Oh, I just had an
and it ain't
intrusive
over
thought.
till every vote is counted.
Right.
Every ballot is counted. But we're feeling good. We're feeling good about where we are. We believe one of the nets has suggested we've already won Arizona, but we're confident about Arizona. That's a turnaround.
Yeah. You know, like the mutants that get like blasted with radiation.
And we're still in the game in Georgia, although that's not one we expected. And we're feeling real good about Wisconsin and Michigan.
It definitely looks like a fake tan.
Hang on.
And by the way, it's going to take time to count the votes. We're going to win Pennsylvania.
Let's see.
You know,
I've been talking to folks in Philly, Allegheny County, Scranton, and they're really encouraged by the turnout and what they see. Look, you know, we could know the results as early as tomorrow morning.
Okay.
But it may take a little longer. As I've said all along, it's not my place or Donald Trump's place to declare who's won this election. That's the decision of the American people.
I think if Trump was going to do it, he already would have had
to do it. I'm optimistic about this outcome. And I want to thank every one of you who came out and voted in this election. And by the way, Chris Coons and the Democrats, congratulations here in Delaware.
Shout out Chris Coons, fucking corporate lackey.
Hey, John, the Gov, yeah.
Delaware, fucking tax haven
You've
bullshit.
You've done a great job. I'm grateful to the poll workers, to our volunteers, our canvassers, everyone who participated in this democratic process. And I'm grateful to all my supporters here in Delaware and all across the nation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And folks, you heard me say it before. Every time I walk out of my grandpa's house up in Scranton, he'd yell, "Joey, keep the faith." And my grandma, when she was alive, yelled, "No, Joey, spread it. Keep the faith, guys. We're going to win this." Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your patience is great.
He seems pretty confident.
Joe Biden, his wife, Dr. Jill Biden, coming out on a chilly night in Wilmington, Delaware, to tell his supporters, in essence, to hang in there. He said at the end, keep the faith.
Hopeful about Arizona, he says.
We are on track to win this election. We knew
that's
because
great,
of the
I guess.
early vote that it was going to take a while. He said it ain't over till every vote.
He also said we're going to win Pennsylvania, which I think is pretty strong.
Arizona.
Yeah.
And Wisconsin, he said. I don't know about Wisconsin.
He said he feels good about those northern states.
In Pennsylvania.
But he said we will win Pennsylvania.
He did say that. I hope he's right.
Of the Washington Post and Eliana Johnson.
If he doesn't,
tight.
I mean, if he wins,
he says he's optimistic. Should he be?
If he wins Georgia, and I mean Arizona, but then if he doesn't win those northern states, that's not good. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait, I guess, to know for sure.
We're gonna have to stream tomorrow as well.
Yeah, maybe we will. That would be cool. But I don't know. I don't know why. Was I naive to hope that we would have a better like a more commanding lead in Michigan and Wisconsin?
You weren't naive, to hope for it. I would say that if you were expecting it, if you were like, this is definitely what's going to happen, then that would be naive. But I was hoping for it too. Like I for a brief moment dared to dream of a situation in which we had won Texas, or not we, because
Yeah, you did. I remember
Biden.
that. I remember that. You said Texas. You were like, look at Texas, and I was like, Justin's over in Fantasyland right now.
Yeah, I was like, fucking dare I dream, dare I dream.
Justin had a
I was
dream.
like, maybe Joe Biden will fucking win Kansas or something. That would be crazy. And fucking who knows, right? I was like imagining Georgia, North Carolina, Florida. I was looking at that and I like wanted to believe, but like if you look at the map I put out, on the Twitter account, which is my map. It's not endorsed by the Twitter account or whatever. Is proving to be pretty accurate in that Joe Biden lost all those fucking states because they have absolutely no goddamn ground game. Like Bernie would have won North Carolina. Bernie would have won Georgia probably. Bernie would have won Florida probably. That's my assessment.
You think Bernie would have won Florida?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think that the impact of the Cuban population in Florida and like their like right wing views supposedly, right? Which I don't think you can really say decisively about population, but I think there is this idea that like
yeah,
Bernie couldn't win among Cuban people, which I don't think is accurate. And like even so, there are a lot of people who live in Florida, so it's like I don't really see why that would be decisive. I think Bernie would have stood a much better chance.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I actually think Bernie would have stood a better chance in every state, to be honest with you.
Bernie could have won West Virginia.
Right. No, yeah, that's
never.
Yeah, Biden could never.
Never. Bernie could have won Wyoming and Montana. Like Biden could never.
I think if Bernie were the candidate, we would know that those northern states were going blue actually by now, or we would be a lot more sure.
Fucking places love Bernie.
Yeah.
Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania love Bernie.
And once you eliminate those states and you say those states are blue, Dems win, because it's not like they were gonna lose, any of the other state. Like what blue state was going to go red because Bernie was on the ballot? I don't think so. They would have showed up to vote against Trump.
There isn't one, like it people to remain in their cars. Exactly. Like even New Hampshire, right? I could see possibly New Hampshire being one, but Bernie's from Vermont, so and like people like Bernie regularly has crushed the New Hampshire primary.
Dude, he could crush it.
Fucking
crushed him. Yeah.
Crushed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that sort of Northeast sort of preference thing, right? Like there is this like notable preference for local candidates in the Northeast. So he did really fucking well in Massachusetts. He actually beat Elizabeth Warren barely, which is pretty incredible. Which like she absolutely should have dropped out.
Awesome.
There's just no excuse. She got beat in her own state. There's just no excuse for her to have stayed in my opinion. But like, he could have done it. But also whatever, he should have fought harder.
It's true. It's definitely true. Looking at the Senate right now, we've got Democrats with 43 and Republicans with 46. The key races, so Arizona still has not been called.
Nope.
But I think Mark Kelly is going to win that seat. So Dems will pick up a senator there. Some of the notable.
What about Joni Ernst? How did Joni Ernst do?
Did you see we're at 43?
Joni Ernst won. Yeah, she won in Iowa.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was.
That sucks.
I don't think it was. It wasn't really even that close. I mean, it could have been worse.
It was like a 6.5 point difference.
Kind of close, actually. Yeah.
Not terrible. Not great.
Some notable victories in the House tonight, though. Cori Bush, DSA-backed candidate, won in was it Missouri? Was it Missouri?
St. Louis.
Yeah.
Ferguson specifically.
Which is really awesome. That's good news.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
She's a real fucking deal. She came up as an organizer in the wake of the police killing Mike Brown in Ferguson.
Oh, cool.
Which is amazing, right? Like, this is like what we're talking about, like the Black Lives Matter uprisings that we've seen across the country. or
The ripple effect.
uprisings in solidarity with the movement for Black Lives. She's part of that, right? And like she's from like a group of people who were organized in 2013, 2014 who really like served to popularize Black Lives Matter movement and also to bring attention to like police militarization.
Yeah,
which is really something that has been like in large part like brought to the national foreground, like police violence, police militarization, brought to the foreground by people like Cori Bush. So fucking awesome that that she's there. You know, like really gives me some hope. In some ways,
the establishment also tried to mount a challenge to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in New York in one of those congressional races, and
they got fucking killed.
They got killed. Yeah, they tried to win with. I saw someone said they tried to win with Joe Crowley Democrats, which nope,
not a winning coalition anymore.
Yeah. So there's some good news there. I know there were some other DSA-backed candidates too. Jamal Bowman, being one of them.
Fun fact: I worked on I was a fellow for a campaign that was also in the Dem primary and lost to Jamal Bowman.
John Yang in Wilmington, now to
Wow.
Washington, D.C.
Yeah, so back to the two campaigns I've worked on have both failed in the primary, so that's pretty fun.
Oh no, Justin.
Bad omens.
Bad omens, yeah, man. It's because of me. Yeah.
Probably.
They should have put me in charge, man. I don't know what I'm doing.
I want to put up a tweet for people because this is essentially
let's
the
see.
nightmare scenario that people.
I'm Georgia's at 85. Georgia's got 85% reporting.
Here's what he tweeted.
What are the vote counts?
We are up big. But they are
Yeah,
going to
so
steal the election,
so
they being the
Biden's
Democrats.
Biden's
Never
or
let them do that.
Donald
Votes
Trump's
cannot
got
be cast
2.2
after
million.
the polls
Biden's
are
got
closed.
1.9.
That is President Trump saying without evidence that this is now an election that has fraud in it. There's no
North Carolina,
sort of reports that they're
New York
gonna
Times is
fraud,
calling
Democrats are gonna
it
steal the election.
82%
This
of
again
the
is
vote
what
right
President
now.
Trump had been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks. He said the only way that he could lose
Wisconsin's at 83.
we're not sure whether or not the president is going to declare
Dude,
victory.
I'm gonna lose
but he
my
is
shit
saying in another tweet that he
if Trump
has won
wins.
big. We're hoping, listening to
that's
the
gonna be
campaign officials,
so
that the
fucking
president
bad.
is going to do what he said this morning, which is that
Wisconsin
he was
with
not going to declare victory.
Like, who knows, you know?
That's what he said this
Not-
morning
Could
on Fox
happen.
News. But
Doesn't
now
bode well
everything
for
is
Wisconsin.
in some ways a
Not
little bit
looking
volatile
good.
right now, so we have to watch this
Michigan's
very
at
closely.
60,
Once we
about
see what the
60.
president says, we'll be able to know whether or not
If
this-
Biden manages
Still
to
could
win
take
this, it's
Michigan.
gonna be a fucking miracle.
The president trying to
If
say that
Be a
there's some sort of
fucking
voter fraud,
miracle.
or
If
not the president
Biden
might say,
loses
"I'm gonna wait
Wisconsin,
for
which
the
I
election
think
results
might be
officially,
the
but I
next
think I'm gonna win."
And
key
Yamiche, what- is there
thing
any
that comes out of
evidence,
this,
that the
Yeah.
president
key
trying to steal the
development,
election? What is the-
that's going to
what is the
be
president
that's going to be a real
what are they
fucking
saying is the
downer.
evidence of that?
Yeah.
If he loses Wisconsin, he needs to. It's gonna be a real fucking downer. If
Yeah.
he loses Wisconsin, like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking flip if he loses.
I don't think he's gonna get it.
It's just that it just sucks to look at because he's down by just over 100,000 votes.
Yeah.
Donald Trump's got 1,369,517. And
you know, I think 100,000 votes in terms of mail-in ballots is
Not
not
that much.
crazy at all.
It's not. It's
crazy
not.
at all.
But you know,
We'll see what happens, right?
That's
We'll see
true.
what happens.
That's a good point. That's
Like-
a good point. Maybe I'm
The winner
yeah.
of the election was
We'll
Don't
see what
listen to me.
happens. I think if you're looking at this fucking map right now, there's a lot of good reasons to be pessimistic. Like,
yeah.
There are because I
gross
literally
and bad.
I have the 26 I've got the 2016 map up too and as I go back and
looks
forth
a fucking lot like the 2016 map.
And of course in 2000,
Looks a lot like 2016.
37 days
yeah,
later,
that's
when the election
the thing.
was
The
decided on.
only
Yamiche,
thing
the
that seems
White
to
House,
so
John
far
Wilmington,
be a flip is
we are gonna
Arizona,
be coming back to you
which,
as the night goes on.
you
Right
know,
now,
Good job, Biden.
not what we were hoping for.
coverage.
Woo! Yeah. Like, not necessary for any strategy
No.
in particular.
God, what if Biden only my God, what if he only flips Arizona? What if that's the only thing
that would be the
comes out of
perfect
this?
metaphor for liberalism.
I was just gonna say, yeah, that's.
Yeah. They had an awesome ground game in John McCain's former state because John McCain was a maverick and he likes to work together to get things done with Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, exactly.
Rest in peace.
They poured it all into appealing to old people in Arizona who make up, a fucking whopping electoral 11 electoral votes.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Fucking worked. Woo, yeah, great. Like, you lose fucking Pennsylvania, Michigan, or Wisconsin, we're all completely boned. Like, we're boned either way, but we're significantly more boned with Trump in office.
What would you say about
and since we were just talking about Wisconsin, we've got a little bit more now of the votes have come in, and Trump is leading a little more. I know this is nitpicky, but 84% are reporting now. But
PA's only at 64.
Rising crime rates
is
a major driving issue. And the president really spent almost no time.
Michigan's at 60.
Questions about racial injustice, which most of the country, at least when the protests were peaceful, seem to have sympathy.
I'm worried. I'm worried. Like I said, I'm worried that the next thing we're going to find out is that Trump won Wisconsin, and then it's just going to be a big sign for me.
Yeah.
Honest. But I guess we don't know when we will know the results in Wisconsin due to the mail-in.
So we don't know, but the governor, the Republican piece of shit governor, Rick Snyder, said that they were expecting to know the results today, but maybe that's kind of media strategy to like try to discredit
Biden and Kamala Harris.
So we'll see what happens there.
But if he takes Michigan and Pennsylvania and Arizona,
if he took Michigan,
that would be close.
It'd be super close.
Be really fucking close. Yeah. I had a plausible tie scenario that I'm gonna bring up because it's looking increasingly likely.
What's the
unfortunately
process for that?
So I'll bring it up really quick. I just want to bring up got some feedback from some people who are listening to this currently, and Gabby apparently did an impression of me. Quote: Bernie would be skull fucking Trump on the White House lawn by now.
Love that.
Bernie would be skull fucking Trump on the White House lawn by now.
Not wrong.
Which I think is great. So thank you for.
Oh my gosh,
that's beautiful.
I would love to see that.
Shouts out
I would
to
love
Gabby.
it. I would love it.
Put that in P-Hub. See what happens.
Yeah, dude. People, I'm 100% certain that it exists. Fucking 100% certain. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna need about like 30 seconds to find this map. But
29.
Yeah, I'd love to see your. I
27.
would love to see your tie scenario.
Battle Royale. Who do you think would win in just like a fist fight? Joe Biden or Donald Trump?
I think Trump could weighs more.
Yeah, I think Trump would take it.
So yeah, I think so. So here's my official prediction includes Biden winning, but only winning by 42 votes because he wins Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. The weird tie scenario I envisioned was Biden winning Michigan and Pennsylvania, but losing Arizona. So actually, it looks like that's probably not going to happen. It looks like Biden is going to win Arizona, but there could still be some interesting fuckery. Like if Biden loses, or if Biden somehow loses Michigan or Pennsylvania due to some like voter like miscounting shit and like happens to win North Carolina or Georgia, like that also throws the calculus into complete disarray. We're not talking about like large margins in any of these places.
And TJ brought up a scenario where if Biden wins, you know, if he wins Pennsylvania
and Michigan
and Arizona, which he is going to win Arizona, he could win.
Yeah, he could win.
He could win like that. It would be you know, it would be close. He'd be winning by like 17.
I don't think he's taking Wisconsin, but I still think there's probably a chance of Michigan and PA.
Yeah.
If Biden wins Georgia, like that's gonna be, it's gonna fucking rewrite like politics.
If he won Georgia, that would be.
If he won Georgia,
that would be even better. I don't think he's gonna win Georgia.
I don't think he's gonna take it.
I don't think he will either. I think there is a chance though, which would be
Sure.
really cool.
Yeah.
Which I was not expecting at this point.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Dude, so you're saying there's a chance? So I think also we need to remember that like there are going to be a lot of mail-in ballots. I think we really need to be like not overzealous in saying that like we know that like what's going to happen in terms of like what, you know, 3 days from now, a week from now.
Yeah.
When like places are finally done like counting.
Right.
I think that's a totally different situation. I think that these election night results, in terms of how positive they are for Joe Biden, bode really, really well for anything that comes after this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance, you know? Like I don't think that like it's a sure thing, which I really was hoping for. I was hoping that fucking this would be like, oh, like Joe Biden wins in a landslide. I was wrong. Like, great.
You
like,
wanted Joe Biden
fucking
full
awesome.
fucking Trump on the White House lawn.
Yeah, this was Joe Biden skull fucking Trump on the White House lawn.
I'm hoping hoping that I'm wrong about this whole thing, but you know.
Yeah, like I would have loved to be wrong. I guess if like, it's like fucking about like this specifically. If Joe Biden had crushed him, if like Dems had managed to cobble together a coalition from fucking Texas, Florida, Georgia, like which I think Bernie fucking could have done.
Bernie could have done that.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Bernie would
Joe
have won
Biden
Southern
could never.
states. He would have rewritten the fucking electoral playbook. He would have shown what was possible in terms of actually like Appalachia, like fucking appealing to people
Totally.
who don't trust the Dems for good reason, you know.
And that's
so like
that was actually part of what the Democrats were more worried about. I mean, they
Yeah.
were more worried
Of
about
course.
that scenario than a scenario where Bernie loses because he's too radical, right?
Mhm.
yeah,
because-
no, it's like a small number of people did not support Bernie because they thought he was too radical and they weren't going to win.
Yeah.
Really, the primary focus was making sure that he did not win the primary and then figuring it out later, right? This is a classic example of this kind of like short-term thinking, this sort of like, you know, fucking Wall Street quarter by quarter thinking that leads to horrible outcomes, like, for example, a general election between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Specifically this election, in which there's absolutely no ground organizing from the Biden campaign in Minnesota. As recently as a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, their campaign offices in Minnesota were only being used to distribute fucking yard signs. That's not what organization looks like. That's not what
Right.
political organizing is. That is
Yeah.
not like how you actually get people to vote. So the Biden organization bears a lot of blame for whatever. If this does not go well,
They
that
bear
is
all
why.
of they bear all of the blame. I'm
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
the Democratic
Not a fucking
Democratic
doubt.
the
And
Democratic
Obama, too.
Party. Yeah.
Fucking Obama and every person who stayed in the race when it was clear that Bernie was the favorite. Like, every person who stayed in the race or every person who fucking dropped out and then consolidated support behind Joe Biden. Like, that is fucked up. And, like, I think we just really need to not accept that. Just not move on from that. Like, I think that really tells you a lot about how this shit works. It's very instructive.
And nobody thinks that nobody thinks at the end of this that Trump is going to get more votes, right? Biden is going to win the popular vote. 20 the Democrats should have fixed the Electoral College 20 years ago. Because this has happened twice in this century now. And hopefully it doesn't happen again with this election, but it's a possibility. And if Biden loses, it will be that will be the scenario. Democrats had a pretty good majority, in 2008 after Obama won. They controlled every branch of government. I mean, I don't know. The Electoral College thing, it seems like, people talk about it a lot. Democrats talk about it a lot, right? Yeah, we won the popular vote. Well, fucking great. How about next time make it
cares?
so? Yeah, you still lost.
Yeah.
You didn't have
Who
a
gives
winning
a shit? That's not how it works here. You know that.
Yeah. So it is. It's their fucking fault if they lose.
It is. It is no one's fault but the Democrats if they fucking lose for forcing through Joe Biden in what is an insanely undemocratic process. People do not like being forced to vote for somebody. And, probably fucking keep kicking the Green Party off the ballot in Wisconsin. That might have turned 1,000 votes away from the Biden campaign, which could be decisive. So,
Aaron, I'm going to
like,
interrupt real quick. We do have a call.
Fuck.
Trump's up.
President Trump won.
Yeah, whatever. If you're willing to roll the dice, fucking score in the left of the party. Great.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And they don't want to win with that group. They made it clear. They have told us to go. They've told us to go fuck ourselves.
Go vote for somebody else. Joe Biden said at a fucking car plant in Michigan.
Hims did said that.
My man's did say that.
Yeah. And then I don't know. Yeah. But we knew what needed to happen tonight. Hopefully it still does. Hopefully I'm just being pessimistic, but ultimately we knew that they needed to win those northern states, and this is not what I was hoping for. And I'll be honest, this was not what I was expecting. I was expecting Joe Biden to have at least a more commanding, a lead in these states right now.
Hopefully I'm pessimistic is a lovely phrase. I just want to
hopefully
I
guess
hopefully I'm pessimistic.
It's just because I've already said 1,000 times, looking at this 2016 map and then looking at the map of right now, it's
I don't think, frankly, there were a lot of reasons to be hopeful going into this, and I
don't do that.
We'll
to me,
say
Justin.
now.
Don't do that. You said you thought Biden was gonna win.
I was the only person that said Trump was gonna
hear
win.
me out, dude. Come on,
right,
man.
sorry.
Come on,
All right.
hear me out.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna hear you out, and then I'm gonna dip out.
Okay, yeah. So I don't think there were a lot of reasons to be super hopeful about this election. I'm gonna say that just straight out. And I was expecting a Biden win because I thought that he would be able to regroup Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania under the Democrats.
That's what I thought.
This was my assumption, and that was what I was basing my assessment of the entire race on. I think that I could have been just seeing what I wanted to see. I'm completely open to that. It's but the polling did look pretty good, but fucking what does polling count for? But I think he will win if we count all these ballots, but we'll have to just wait and see, which is unfortunate.
Where did you get that number on the Pennsylvania ballots where you had said that
All right, I'm gonna head out, you guys.
No worries, TJ. See you later, dude.
Sounds good, TJ.
Yeah,
you take it easy.
Yeah, maybe we'll stream tomorrow.
Could happen.
Yeah.
Stranger things have happened.
All right, bye, dude.
Stranger things have happened.
What
Biden just won Minnesota. Very dope. Very dope.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'll bring it up right now. I tweeted it out to our
Okay,
followers.
I'm curious about that.
Yeah, so it was part of the live stream updates from the New York Times. It was one of their journalists.
Okay. I mean, because that would be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, here we go. So it's from Nick Corasaniti. Nick Corasaniti in Philadelphia. Sorry that we were talking shit about Italian people earlier. You know, hope that you can forgive us, Nick. But he said that this was a New York Times correspondent. He said, quote, Pennsylvania results are only trickling in, but Democrats are encouraged by early voting tilt. Registered Democrats cast over 1 million more early votes than Republicans. So,
you know what?
Actually, I think I understated it. I think like Dems have more than 2/3 of the early votes.
Of the early votes, you said.
Of the early votes.
But
yeah.
what about mail-in votes that won't be counted until after today, though?
I think that like that counts mail-in votes.
Okay.
I think that's what that is.
Well, okay, yeah, that makes sense. My bad.
I mean, it depends, right? If like 2 days from now they're like, oh, so we can't accept any more, like that's something. But like that number of votes is like, I think that is cause to be like guardedly hopeful, but also like we knew that Dems were going to do better in mail-in ballots, right? We knew this, right? Because of the fucking culture wars, mass coronavirus shit that's been going on.
Absolutely.
So, like, do we have a lot of reasons to feel great about this? No.
Right.
But is this over now? Like, also no.
Right. Yeah, we're still Wisconsin's coming in real slow now. Maybe might be a while before. Yeah.
We're gonna see. It's gonna be a couple days.
Yeah. What if this would be a nightmare scenario? What if some of those Democrats who cast those early / mail-in ballots voted for Trump?
I mean, some did.
Yeah,
some did.
That's the thing, because obviously this is a state that flipped in 2016. That's one.
Some right-wing old people and right-wing people
they
who
just
like to vote from home.
Yeah, and they didn't change their registration or whatever, and they just they're Trump. Yeah, but
it's gonna happen, but like in terms of number of votes, it's a much lower proportion than
hopefully, yeah.
Any other. No, I mean like almost definitely. I would say like like even say if a quarter of those votes were Trump votes, like not that much. If like even if 35% of those votes are Trump votes,
right?
Like that still looks really good for Joe Biden, which I think we're probably talking about margins that are like that or better.
Mm-hmm.
For Biden.
But I think you're there.
So I think
Michael Beschloss, there you are.
Biden can pull this out. He can. Fucking who knows what will happen, but this entire thing is absolute horseshit that we even have to be like here.
Right.
Gut wrenching, sitting here being like, oh, is he going to barely squeeze out a victory? Are you fucking serious? That is the most inexcusable. After all this shit, like you put up someone who can, if he beats Trump, is gonna beat him by that much.
Yeah. What? Okay. Yeah. I was looking at just looking at the map. So yeah, he did win Minnesota.
He won Minnesota. Let's do it.
And yeah, I mean Hillary won.
W's in the chat.
Hillary won Minnesota in 2016 as well.
Yeah. Minnesota. If he lost Minnesota, he'd be fucked. That's it. Arizona. Oh, it's looking like Joe Biden's definitely gonna win Arizona. So shouts out.
Yeah.
Nevada. Not that it really matters. Trump's ahead, but not by much.
I think Biden's gonna win in Nevada.
I think so too.
Yeah.
That's only 6 electoral votes, so it's kind of like whatever. Oh, fucking Biden is down by less than 100,000 votes in North Carolina, so that could happen.
Wow.
Wow, that would be crazy. If Biden won North Carolina, that'll probably do it.
That's one of the states where some of the mail-in voting is gonna be a factor, though.
Be decisive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's not down by that much. He's down by less than 100,000, so he's down by like 80,000. So it's certainly doable.
Yeah, it is doable. It just looks bad right now. I guess that's the thing. It's the visual. It's the visual.
The visual is fucking bad. And yeah, the visual is fucking bad. And like the Trump campaign and Trump in general is really, really good at exploiting that visual. Like that is what they do. They're like reality TV people.
Which I heard Trump was maybe going to speak tonight. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard that he was, and then they canceled some like speaking appearance he
They
had,
did.
and they, like,
Okay.
So I do not think that Trump is feeling great about this. I don't think this is like, if it had looked worse, right? Like we can imagine a situation in which after all the mail-in ballots have cast, Biden has a very, very narrow lead and barely wins. I think that's kind of what Trump was hoping for. Whereas this looks more like a total toss-up on election night. And so we're really going to have to count the mail-in ballots, right? This is like a less strong hand for Trump to play, but he's still going to try play it in the same way, I think.
Sure.
Almost an
Yeah.
afterthought if Biden can take Michigan and Wisconsin. So the Council of Patience.
He'll do what he can.
You know, doubly important, and it also explains why the president.
Who do we got?
Yeah, I like really wish we didn't have to do this, but one of the reasons why I, talk shit about Joe Biden steadily is that like we have to be prepared for Joe Biden and people like him to fuck stuff up like this, right? Like I am absolutely unwilling to get my ability to organize and relate to people tied up in Joe Biden because he's gonna produce shit like this, you know? It's like there's absolutely no reason for me to buy into him and his fucking brand personally. Because like what the fuck, where does it lead us? It leads us to outcomes like this. Like it's completely, absolutely unacceptable. We should demand more from people. Many of us have been demanding more. A large number of people demand more regularly, but they don't fucking listen. And so this is like why we get Joe Biden as the nominee. And to be clear, if he fucking loses, it is not the fault of any fucking voters because this has not been a democratic process at any stage.
Yeah, the entire primary process was basically the main question was, do we deserve more, and should we ask more from these people? And they told us no, and they if they win tonight, it's probably because of COVID, most likely because without COVID, Trump was probably going to win again, based on how the primary played out, the Democratic primary played out, because Biden is not an exciting candidate. Biden would have probably done a little better than Hillary, but ultimately, yeah, this is COVID.
Ultimately, I think that if Biden wins, it's the anti-Trump vote.
That's it.
That's what it is,
Yep.
And it's not because he did anything better than Hillary. In fact, I think in a lot of ways his campaign is probably worse run than Hillary's under
You think Biden's campaign has been run worse?
Yeah, I think Biden's campaign has been run worse than Hillary's.
I don't know.
Almost definitely.
In what way?
So I just think that Hillary Clinton had a lot more ground game. I think that she did not focus enough on Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. So I think that was her ultimate failing. But like in terms of like the actual like campaign structure, the actual like campaign's ability to execute like at least mobilization, right? If not like actual organization, I think was much greater for the Clinton campaign than it has been for the Biden campaign. So I think it's worth noting that.
Sure.
But at the same time, I think that Trump was an unknown entity, and I think that because of that, the anti-Trump vote was nowhere near as strong as it is now. So,
right.
Well, we'll see. You're right. Like maybe coronavirus is the reason that Trump's going to be able to get like a significant portion of Dem votes thrown out, and that's what'll do it. and that'll be a big fucking problem.
Well, sorry. I mean,
Like,
I
what
actually,
like-
I actually was saying that if Trump loses, it's because of COVID, though. Just because of people being upset with his, But that's another, that's another thing with COVID too, though, is that because of all the mail-in ballots and those being easier to basically suppress in a way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're totally right. Like that's what I was saying earlier. Like, it's going to be so infuriating if Joe Biden wins this, like for 1,000 reasons, but like in part because it's going to be used by like centrist fucking shills to say that, oh, we need to support moderate candidates. We need to support moderate candidates, and kids in schools are going to learn, oh, we need to support moderate candidates. What we learned from the Biden administration is that you don't want to go extreme like Bernie. You want to support healthcare lobbyists, and that is just bullshit. Like that road is going to lead to absolute fucking ruin. And
this race could be declared a lot sooner.
I'm not down for that. Like, it's, I live in Washington. Like, I can say safely now I voted third party. Like, you can see it had absolutely no goddamn fucking effect on the election. So everyone who gave me shit for it can fuck off.
Yeah.
And it's like fucking I don't know, just why get your personal shit caught up in whether or not Joe Biden decides to actually like mobilize and organize a campaign? It's like, it's just like, it's not in your fucking, you don't control that, right? You control your organization, you control your own organization, you control like the way that you relate to people around you, you control to a much greater degree your local politics. And if you live in a swing state, maybe consider voting for Joe Biden.
Right. That's my thing.
It's like vote for him if you're in a swing state. If it could matter, like like vote for him. That's like a different situation. But it's just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I live in Washington. Like, what the like, I'm just supposed to like fucking throw another one in the bucket for Comrade Joe. Like,
right. Yeah. Let's see. Wisconsin, coming to 86% reporting. Georgia, 88% reporting. These numbers aren't.
Are you on Associated Press?
I'm just on like the Google results right now.
Okay. Well, let's. I don't know how Google's doing their shit. Let's take a look at Associated Press. Let's take a look at the New York Times.
I pulled up the New York Times one now. I'm gonna hit the.
I see New York Times. Let's see. So in Wisconsin, they got 75% reporting. They got Trump in the lead with 110,000 votes. In Michigan, Trump is up by almost 300,000 votes, which is bad. In North Carolina, they got 95% of the votes reporting. I think they're probably dumped for the night. It's it's getting pretty late on the East Coast, so probably gonna just like count the mail-in ballots from here on out. But Biden is down by 80,000. So I don't think that's changing until they get some of these mail-in ballots done. But 80,000 ain't bad. Really is not bad at all for COVID times. So
yeah,
good for him. And then we got 250,000 in Georgia. So also not bad, but Georgia's infamous for voter suppression, like many places. But
right.
So
Democrats' hopes, I think, in the
we're just not gonna be happy with what we see tonight. I guess we just got to accept that, obviously.
You just gotta.
I just I was naive. It's okay. It's okay. It happens.
Don't be hard on yourself. I don't know, like, for sure. Like this is like truly what I believe is like, you're never wrong for wishing that things would be better.
Sure.
You're never wrong for that. Like, it's a good thing to want things to be better. And if you voted for Biden and you were like, I'm just going for it, like, I'm gonna like just hope that like me adding to that is going to produce something better than me not doing that. Like, I respect that also.
I didn't do that.
No, not you. I'm talking to our audience, Tyler.
For sure. Yeah.
Speaking to the American people.
Got you. Okay. I thought you were trying to console me specifically.
No, I don't really care about your emotional state.
For sure.
No, Tyler, I love you. But
now being told
right,
that President Trump will
if one were to say like, oh, like I am going to use my voice and I'm going to add to trying to defeat Trump. Like I respect that, but also like let's take it a step further than that. You know, let's more critically analyze the situation. Let's see like what can we actually do to make a difference, right? And not just like kind of make us feel better. Right. And you know, I don't really know exactly what that is. I'm not claiming to have all the answers, but you know, like let's think about like actual electoral strategy, right? Like, would it be good for Joe Biden to campaign in Michigan and actually have field offices like knocking on doors and shit? Like, yeah, that would have been a great idea. Like, they probably should have done that.
There is a scenario that hasn't been discussed too much, and that is.
Yeah, I mean they were campaigning in Michigan though, right?
For the last month and a half they were, but that is not how you win a campaign.
Sure, yeah, that's true.
It takes more than yard signs, and I didn't see any fucking yard signs before a month ago.
Right, yeah, that's true. Wait, where was it that Trump went to when he was campaigning and he said, was it Erie? I think it was Erie, and he was like, I wouldn't come to Erie normally. You remember? Did you see that video?
No, that's fucking hilarious.
He was like,
I think
"I'm
you
sorry,
want Erie too."
But you know, you guys understand. I wouldn't come to Erie, and they're like cheering. They're like, "Yeah, fuck us!" Like,
our town sucks. For sure, dude. Like fucking 100%. There is this like super weird like Rust Belt fucking hate going on in Erie and Utica, like. Fucking there is this like there like some people who live there love it, a lot of people who live there love it, and there's this weird like subgroup of people who are like, we're literally living in fucking hell.
Yeah,
like it's all this weird insanely dystopian graffiti around this area. But and you know, Trump obviously he's saying whatever the fuck is on his mind because you know that's where he's at right now. But, not alone in shit talking Northwest Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Many like him.
Oh man, yeah. Let me. I'm gonna take a quick look at my at what my my relatives are up to on the on the Facebook here.
Can we get a check and see if there's anyone in the Twitch chat?
Yeah, we got some people in there. If anybody wants to drop their, for one thing, if anybody wants to drop their predictions, because mine has certainly moved a little bit. Although I think you know, it's still likely that Biden will win, but I'm worried. I would say I'm concerned.
Also, drop your social media information in the chat, and we'll be sure to follow you.
Hell yeah!
If we're not already, just let me know.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's looking bad, you know. Fucking who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? Love to hear from y'all.
Let's see. My let's see, what did he post today? Oh, he posted, one of my relatives posted a oh my god, like some abortion shit. That's too much to read. What else do we got? They sleep in dirt. No, I don't care about that. If you eat today, thank a farmer. If it's on your table, thank a trucker. If you eat in peace, thank a veteran. Oh, nice one. Okay.
If you don't eat, thank a capitalist.
Yeah, exactly. Also, if you eat today, thank a farmer, and it's a picture of a white farmer. I'm gonna go ahead and say that you might also want to thank someone who is, you know, Hispanic and might even be undocumented and might even be someone who you're actively trying to get deported. You might want to try thanking them as well. And if
it's like, thank a farmer, vote Trump.
What? Yeah. And if you eat in peace, thank a veteran. What are they what are they protecting me
Yeah,
from?
exactly.
Who am I being protected
Like,
from? Who's gonna get
exactly.
me?
Yeah, exactly. Fucking who is it? Iran? Is Iran gonna invade the fucking west coast of America? Like, no, let's just like stop fucking with them.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. What else we got?
I think so. I think that we might be kind of at a limit for what we're gonna see tonight. Honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna see much more than this, which is,
what are we dealing with here?
you know, we're kind of looking at not the worst case scenario, but a potential version of the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see. Biden's only up by 11 electoral votes.
Yikes. Yeah, he's he's at 224. Trump is at 213. You know, one update that was obvious, Nevada is now leaning blue. They've counted very quickly. They've got like 65% reporting now. I mean, obviously Biden's gonna win Nevada, which is good. He's gonna win Arizona.
Nevada's got like a pretty urban population because the rest of it is like desert and like impossible to live in for a lot of people.
Bernie famously had a blowout victory in Nevada. That was probably the last good day of 2020. I feel comfortable saying at this point.
Yeah,
was Bernie's
I would
Nevada
say
victory.
I am completely there with you.
Because after that,
like
it was pretty. Yeah.
When Bernie was gonna win, it was just like
that was tight.
It felt so sweet, you know. It felt like it just feels like
4 years.
I don't know. That would like with Bernie Sanders, both you know, Bernie ignited my belief in electoral politics very briefly, and then his second loss has quickly like kind of demonstrated its limits to me.
Sure.
So it's
and I think we just can't understate.
It's just hard, you know. It's just like I love him to death, but you know, it's like this is what's happening, right? Is Trump about to win a second term? Maybe. Like, do we want to keep any system that produces 2 terms of Donald Trump? Maybe 3 terms. No, I don't.
what I will say is that you know, in terms of electoralism, broadly speaking, do I have a lot of hope in it? Definitely not. Do I think it's gonna get the kind of changes that I would like to see? No. But I do think that it is a place where I do still think that the left has to try to exercise power and gain influence, because it is still traditionally the place where politics is done by normal people who, you know, are or by normies or whatever, who you know, aren't on Twitter, don't follow this stuff in the same way that, like, you know, people who do podcasts do or whatever, right? We do need to like figure out a way to you know, get ourselves involved with those people. You know what I mean?
Definitely, we need to infiltrate. No, I mean, like, you know, I think it just comes down to like actually like a lot of organizing, in my perspective, comes down to building relationships with people in your life.
Yeah.
You know, you're only going to get a certain number of introductions to people, and there's some people who can fuck off, right? And like, you'll know that, right? But there are a lot of people who you can potentially have a big impact on, and that's pretty cool.
And
I think it really is perspective on relationships. What are you saying, Tyler?
Well, we deal with a, you know, a strongly depoliticized society, I would say, in America, like specifically, where like, what I mean at least is just that like talking about politics is considered taboo, right? And
I think more when I was younger.
It was worse when you were younger, or what do you mean?
I think definitely. I think now people are definitely more engaged with politics than they were.
I think you're right. I think it is shifting, and as it shifts, the left needs to be there to, be influential in that regard, right? That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
It would be. I would say it would be a disaster if the left decided to just not be involved in electoralism. And I'm not even saying that really anybody is suggesting that. I think that although there are some people who
I would say there's some people, but a small number of people, right? Like,
sure.
And I'll say that, yeah, I mean, that all makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, I mean, it looks bad. I think that like a good reason why we should be involved in electoralism just in general is that it's a way to actually persuade people to much further left views. It's a good platform for that, right? And I think that is like kind of one important function. I think also just like kind of what we're going for with the podcast. And Tyler, you can tell me if you think this is like is right and all, but it's not necessarily like we want to attract people and we want to convince people of things to a certain degree, right? And if we're talking about something that's interesting, I think we bring up a lot of interesting stuff that's like maybe not what a lot of people talk about. But like I think what is a lot more important is to attract people who already agree with a lot of the things we're saying, frankly. This is one thing that I think that like the Dems kind of miss is that they go on these like means tested or not, sorry, not well, definitely means tested shit, but they go on these like focus group tested like policy points, right? They're like, oh, what appeals to the average consumer, right? Because they consider voters consumers, right, in the same way that like corporations think about them, right? But what they're not actually thinking about is organizing, which is the thing that fucking wins elections. So it's like, what is going to play well? Like, what do people in DeKalb County in Georgia need, right? What is the way that our campaign and the insane amount of money that we are spending on this campaign, what are the ways that this can contribute to actually improving material conditions for people? And this is something that the Bernie campaign understood well. Like, they used their shit to support like union organizing, and that's fucking awesome. But it's just like, fucking, what are you doing for people? You expect people to vote for you. What the fuck are you doing for them? It's discouraging. It's like, I'm not saying we shouldn't have some faith in electoral politics. We need people on the inside of the system to achieve any kind of serious gain. Well, I mean, that's not true, but it certainly helps. I think that's reason enough.
It definitely helps. I mean, I do want to be able to appeal to people who might traditionally not think of themselves as left. Even I would like to do that. I would like to sort of get and I think part of the main way to do that is actually to have a strong sort of faction of the left that is involved in applying like like a materialist lens to issues, because like you said, Justin, organizing is kind of about partly getting things to people that they need, like actually providing material benefits to people. That's not, I mean, that's, for one, that's how you win, right? And then, but also that's how you actually, that's how you change things, right? And that's what I would like to see. I would like to see that, broadly speaking, more on the left, I would say. And then obviously within the Democratic Party. But I'm not naive in terms of thinking that the version of the party we have now is ever going to do that, because it's not. I have fully accepted that. I do say, I know we were having this conversation earlier, I personally, like, if I lived in a swing state, I would vote for Biden. But
I would
don't.
too, I think.
Yeah, and but I don't, and so I didn't, because
exactly.
It's like, so when people say the lesser of two evils is still evil, Yeah, it's true. I think that if you're in a position to influence the outcome where you can get the one that is less bad, personally, I think you should do that. But that's kind of up to you. But if you're not in a position to influence the outcome, you don't have to throw another vote behind a shitty imperialist candidate. You know, you
It
don't have to
doesn't
do
do
that.
anything.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't do anything positive anyway.
Yeah.
We're going to leave it there for
Yeah,
now.
definitely.
I think it's a shame that people feel this kind of like personal need to internalize the success or failure of whatever candidate they support. Like if Joe Biden wins or loses, it has fucking nothing to do with me. Like, you know, you're a tiny part of something much bigger. So like, you know, vote however you want, right? But like, come on, like, come on, like, is your vote? If is your vote what is changing the system? Like, no, right? It's something that has a lot of mass buy-in, but especially in the context of the electoral college, it's like your vote probably doesn't mean a whole lot unless you live in this case, Michigan, Wisconsin, or
Pennsylvania. Yeah, then your vote matters a lot.
Your vote matters a fucking lot, right? Like,
yeah.
But for everyone else, it doesn't really matter.
Definitely. Do you think we should get to wrapping it up for tonight? What do you think?
I think that's good. You know, I'm heading into a pretty pilled place right now, so I don't know if I should keep this going.
Yeah, I'm ready. Cool. Yeah, I think we're that's gonna do it for us for tonight. It's possible that we'll be streaming tomorrow, right? We'll figure it out. We'll be
if we hate ourselves enough, we'll be streaming tomorrow.
yeah, definitely. And then the this week's episode should be out on Thursday, too. Just FYI. But you know, follow us on Twitter if you're not already. It was cool. I think we got some people over from Twitter tonight, which is awesome.
We did.
Yeah. So
really nice. We had some people listening to the stream. So thanks for the love, and you know, if you got here from Twitter, that's awesome. Send us a message or interact with some of our tweets and let us know. And you know, we'll be sure to follow you. And yeah, thanks for the support.
Yeah, everybody have a good night. Stay safe. And we will see everybody soon.
I actually think I think we are capable. That's not to say that we won't be anxious, we won't be biting our nails. As I said,
cool. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, thank you. This is